Now guys, we're gonna work on the pagination. We are going to define here free property, the limit, the page, and search. And then we are going to head into the fetch courses function. In here, we're gonna pass the use fetch composable. We're gonna pass it some parameter. We're gonna pass the query, and inside of it, we're gonna pass in this free property, which is the search, the page, and limit. And then we are going to pass the limit reactive property, but also the page. We're gonna pass save data. You can see if we head into the GA courses, the tiers. And in here, you can see we pass here the metadata is a property, passing the total pages, the page, and limits. Okay, we return this metadata, and then and then into the course store we pass the values to the limits and page reactive property. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into the course table here. I'm gonna head into the course table. And in here, we're going to pass here the pagination. We're going to pass here div, and we pass the two bar ends here. And in order to get data in here, we are going to, in here, we're going to call in here, in order to get access to the server data, we're going to import in we're going to import in the course store. Okay. I'm going to copy that line here. I'm going to copy that here, and then I'm passing into the course table. Okay. And we are going to, I'm not do this. Yeah, you can see in here, we're gonna pass here the save data, and we're gonna extract that here. Okay, let's extract that here, and I'm gonna remove this to property, and we are going to pass here to the course store. Okay, and we're gonna pass here fetch courses. Okay, like something like this, and we're gonna pass save data, that metadata page. We're gonna do page -1. Okay, when we're gonna click on pref button, and here we are going to pass here course store again, and here you're gonna pass here fetch courses. Okay, let me cap that, fetch courses, and here and pass here the save data. Yeah, something like this. And then we are going to head into the browser to check that. Okay, everything is okay in here. Now let's check this. I'm going to head into in here. You can see actually just added the pagination in here. Okay, now let's refresh here. You're gonna see you're gonna have here the pagination. It works pretty well. Okay, all right guys, now we're gonna learn how to scale a pineal store. Okay, and we're gonna leverage composables. Okay guys, and here you can see this is the course store. You can see actually we have here a bunch of properties, and this property can keep growing as we are adding functionality inside of our app. Okay, and you can see at the bottom we pass here these properties so that we can get access to them. And if we continue adding more functions and property into the course store, this line here, we are going to have here a lot of properties, and this pineal store, it's going to become difficult to manage. Okay, now in order to make easy, we are going to separate things. Okay, you can see in here first we have a function to create or updates a pineal store. We have here another function to fetch a list of courses. Now these are two functionality that we're gonna separate. Okay, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder in the roots of our project. We're gonna name it composables. Okay, like this, and inside of it I'm putting a composable. We're gonna pass here course. Okay, and inside of the course folder we're gonna put in all composable related to the course. Okay, and here we're gonna pass the first composable and pass here use fetch courses. Okay, this is the composable that is, and we're gonna pass it another composable use fetch use create or updates. Okay, courses. Okay, this is another composable that is, and pass this use updates, use create updates course. Okay, like this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into the course store, and we have here the fetch function. I'm gonna copy that here. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna put it into. We're gonna head into the use course here. use course composable, and then we're going to pass it in here, and we are going to pass the exports function use fetch courses. Okay, and I'm putting this function. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to return the function, pass here return, and we're going to pass here fetch courses. Okay, now I'm going to go back into the course store. I'm going to copy in some reactive property in here. You can see we have here limit, page, and search, and these properties here, they are used by the fetch function. Okay, but also we have here the fetch loading. I'm going to copy that and pass it in here. And we have the saver data. I'm going to copy that too and pass it in here. And I'm going to copy these properties. I'm going to head into the use fetch courses and pass it in here. Okay, like this. And then we remove the error. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to return here the fetch loading and the saver data. I'm passing into the return statement in here. And then I'm passing the saver data. Okay. Now let's check into the course store. If you have here one more property that we should pass into the use fetch composable. Okay, and here we have here course input. Yeah, we have here this. I'm gonna remove this here and the saver data in here. Okay, and you can see we just removed that, and you can see actually we got here an error. Fetch courses, we are trying to call the function. Now, in order to get access to this property, to pass this property again in here, we are going to do something like this. I'm going to create here a function, pass here cons, and here use and pass here fetch course props like this, and then we're gonna pass here use fetch composable. Okay, use fetch courses. We import a composable in here. Okay, and then we are going to, in order to get access to the function, we are going to pass here this that fetch course props that fetch courses. Okay, now what I'm going to do right now, I'm gonna remove that here. Okay, because we are going to because we're gonna cap this function, we're gonna put it into the use create course or update course composable. Now I'm gonna copy that too in here. Okay, I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna move it in here and pass the sync. We're gonna pass the function. We're gonna pass the exports function use creates or updates course. Yeah, like this, and we are going to pass the function here, and then pass here return statement. We're gonna pass here the create or update function to the return statements. And let's go back in here, and we're gonna copy this property. Yeah, we're gonna copy this property here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna copy them, and we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, and I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it to the return statement and the save loading. Okay, now let's import the success function in here, and we're gonna import here the show saver error. Okay, and also you can see we pass here fetch courses. Now in order to get access to the function, I'm gonna import here the composable and pass here. We're gonna pass here fetch courses. I'm gonna extract it from the use fetch composable is equal to use fetch composable. Okay, something like this, and then we're gonna get rid of the error. And in here we are going to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna remove all of this in here. Okay, and then you can see we have here toggle model, and for this one, let me just copy that. And I'm going to put it into the use create updates course composable and pass it in here. Okay, and we're going to return that. You're going to pass that here, and we're going to pass it the show model reactive property. Okay, and then we're going to go back in here, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass here we're going to pass here create update course props. Okay, and here we're gonna call the composable use create update course. Okay, and we are going to copy now this property. You can see this is an object, you can see, this is an object. Now we're gonna pass it in here. Pass here dot, and then I'm pass here fetch course props. We're gonna pass this property to the return statement. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one too, and then we're gonna pass it in here. And pass here 3 dots. Okay, we're gonna spread them in here. You can see, guys, that actually this spinner store, the cursor becomes easy to manage, and it's pretty clean, guys. Okay, is pretty clean. Okay, we know everything. You can see if you want to, let's say you want to modify something, we can know where to go. And now we're gonna do the same thing for the category. You can see we are going to create, we have here the category store, and we have here a bunch of functions and properties. And what I'm going to do, we have here fetch category. I'm gonna copy that. Okay, I'm gonna copy that, and we are going to head into the composable folder. We're gonna creating a something. Yeah, we have here composable. Yeah, we're going to pass here category. We're gonna pass here function use fetch. Yeah, use fetch, and pass here use fetch categories. Okay, categories, the tiers, and in here we're gonna pass here, if we're gonna export the composable, and pass here export function use fetch category, yeah, we're gonna pass here use fetch categories. Okay, and we are going to pass in the function. Okay, we're gonna pass here return statements, and we're gonna pass it the fetch category function. And now let's go back into the category store. We're gonna copy here some properties like fetch loading and save data, and I'm gonna copy this property here, and we are going to pass into the use fetch composable, pass in here, and we are going to pass this property to the return statements, and pass here this, and pass the save data. Okay, yeah, we just finished. Now let's create another composable here. We're gonna pass use create or updates category. Okay, the TS, and let's create a composable. Copy the name, and then we're gonna export it. Export function, and we are going to go, and we are going to head into the category store. And in here, I'm going to copy everything in here, and I'm going to put it into the use create update category. Okay, in here, and then we are going to pass that to the return statement and pass a return. Let me copy something in here. Yeah, I'm gonna copy all of that here, and I'm going to pass it into the return statement in here. Okay, and right now we're gonna remove fetch category and save a data in here, and we're gonna stay with other properties. We are going to import here the show save error function. We're gonna import it, and here we're going to import here the composable. We're gonna pass here this composable use fetch categories. Pass here use fetch categories. Okay, and we are going to extract the fetch category function and pass it in here, and we are going to import the success function. Okay, and we just finished. Okay, something like this. And now we are going to go ahead and get into the category store. We are going to pass here this property and pass here fetch category props here is equal to use fetch categories. Okay, and then we're gonna pass it we're gonna pass a fetch category props, and we're gonna pass here another, we're gonna create another property here. We're gonna name it create or updates category props here. Props is equal to use create updates category. Okay, and we're going to copy this property. We're gonna pass it in here, and if we head into the browser, you're gonna see everything is gonna work fine. Now let's check here. We're going to head into the browser, and yeah, you can see actually got an error, but as soon as I refresh the page, we're gonna get everything in here. Okay, yeah, you can see everything works fine here. To the categories, yeah, everything works fine. Okay, all right, guys, now we're gonna add here the set inputs. Actually, we already added the pagination. We have here the pagination. Now we're gonna add the search input in here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to modify this UI. You can see this the button here. I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna add this block here. And instead of this block, we have here a new button here. And instead of this button, we have a refresh icon and the best button. You can see we're gonna have something like this. Let me refresh here the page. And we're gonna have something like this. Yeah, you can see we have here another button here in the right corner beside the create button. And I'm going to do this. I'm gonna add here a space. You can see justify between, and I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to put it into the course table. And I'm going to head into the course table, and we're gonna pass it at the top here. Okay, right here. And let's see what we're gonna get here. You can see at the left here we have an icon, and instead of it we have a refresh icon. And you can see inside of the icons folder we have the refresh icon in here. And if you want to get the refresh icon, go at heroicons.com, and here tap here refresh. You're gonna get it here. And if you need the camera icon, you can have it here, because we have here the camera icon inside the icons folder. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to extract the fetch loading property. You can see if we head into the use fetch course composable, in here we have the fetch loading reactive property. In here we're going to extract it. We're going to get into the course table, and I'm going to extract it and pass it in here. And we are going to pass here a condition and pass here if. Okay, yeah, I'm going to create another function here, function refresh table. Okay, and we are going to pass in this function. Okay, and pass here a weight, and we're gonna pass a course store that fetch, and pass a fetch courses. Okay, like this, and here I'm passing a sync. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to check here if, okay, if the fetch loading reactive property is equal to true, we are going to show this icon here. We're going to show the loading icon component and pass it in here, loading icon. Okay, if the fetch loading is equal to true, we're going to show it. Else we are going to show this one here and pass here velse. Okay, velse, and we are going to call the function here refresh table and pass here click event. We're gonna call it. Okay, yeah, and pass here this. And now let's check here and see what we're gonna get. We're gonna have here. Now if I click here, you can see that actually we have here a refresh button. Okay, and once we finish fetching data, we display the button and the refresh icon. You can see if I click here again, show this. And we're gonna do the same thing for the category. I'm going to copy that, and we are going to head into the category table. I'm gonna pass it at the top here, and we're gonna copy also this function here. I'm passing to the category table, and we're gonna pass here fetch category. Let me check here the name of the function. Use fetch categories. We're gonna call the fetch categories function. Let's go back into the category table. Okay, we're gonna go back in here, and we're gonna pass it here. Okay, and in here, guys, you can see inside of the category table we don't have the possibility to get access to the Pinear store, and I'm going to import it in here, and I'm gonna copy that here, and we're going to put it into the category table. Okay, and pass it here. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it in here, and we are going to and here we're gonna extract also the fetch loading property. I'm gonna pass it in here, and we're gonna copy that. We're gonna pass to inside of the refresh table function. Okay, and now we're going to head into the category, and then we're gonna remove it in here and pass it into the category table. Okay, and pass it in here, and that's fine. Everything is okay. Now let's check this. We are going to move to categories. Okay, let me refresh first the table. And you can see right now we're on the categories page, and we have the button here. If I click here, if I move to courses, okay, everything is working fine. Now for the courses, we're gonna pass here the base inputs. in here, we're going to pass here the base input, and I'm going to copy the bar and I'm pass into the div here. Okay. And let's check here. You can see the bar n is above the base inputs. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to align this RM in a row, and I'm passing the class of flex. Okay. And we're going to have something like this. Actually, the RMs are aligned in a row. Okay. Now we are going to create another function here in order to search for a given course and pass the search course. Okay. And we are going to create the debounce function, debounce. Okay. And I'm going to pass it the function, and we're going to pass the function and the delay. The delay is going to be the second parameter. And here I'm passing 1 seconds. Okay. And then we are going to create the debounce function. We are going to head into the URLs folder. And here we're going to get into helpers and pass the debounce.ts, and we are going to export the function, and we are going to pass it the callback, which is the first parameter, and I'm say this is going to be a function. Pass it, we're going to pass it some arguments, and then the type should be any. Okay, like this. And we are going to return here a void type and pass a void. Okay, and we're going to pass it the second parameter. It's going to be the delay, and the type should be a number. Okay, like this. And I'm going to define here another variable. I'm going to say the timer, and the type should be any. And I'm going to return here a function and pass here return function, and we are going to pass it the arguments like this. I'm copy that and pass it in here. And then we are going to get into, and then in here we're going to clear out the timer, because once we're going to call the debounce function, we are going to wait until the user finish typing, and then we're going to make an HTTP request to receiver. That's what the debounce function does. Okay. And I'm passing clear timer. We're going to pass it timer, and here we're going to pass timer is equal to set time. Yeah, we're going to pass it timer. We're going to pass it the callback, and we're going to pass it the callbacks, and we're going to pass also the delay here and pass it the delay. Okay, like this. And then let's go back into the course table, and here you can see if we don't use the debounce function, and if we are tapping into the base input here, we are tapping something, we're going to make multiple requests to the server. You're going to see how it works. Okay, now pass here the model. We're going to pass you the search, and we are going to extract the search property to the inside the use course store and pass here search. Okay, now let's check if we export the search property. We're going to get into the use fetch course composable, and in here you can see actually we got the search property in here, but we don't expose it. Now to expose it, we're going to pass it to the return statements, and then we are going to have access to it. Let's go back inside the course table. Okay, and we have here search, and here I'm passing event here, and we're going to pass here const var is equal to event like this, and the target that value. Okay, that value. And then we're going to pass here search that value is equal to var. Okay, like this. And then we are going to call the function here. I'm going to copy that and pass it in here, and I'm passing here a sync like this. Okay, yeah. And now let's call the search course function and pass it here on key down event. We are going to call it. Okay, and here I'm passing on key down event. We're going to call it. Okay, now let's check this and see what we're gonna get in here. And here you can see actually we have here an error. The bounce is not defined. The error auto import it. Okay, you can see the error auto import it because we pass it into a folder here. You can see, and as the error auto import it, we should import it in here. Okay, and if you want to auto import it, we can just pass it at the top of the URLs folder, and then they're gonna auto import it. Okay. And you can see we pass the bounce. Okay, we want to auto import it. Okay, we can pass also other function because we want to auto import. We're gonna modify here things, and I'm pass at the tab too. Okay, I'm gonna remove the helpers folder. I'm gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna remove to the toast notification. We're gonna pass at the top here, but also we have here the tabs and pass a tab here. We want to use auto import, okay? Now let's check again, and we are going to have here the search here. Now I'm going to get into the console because I want to see if we are going to make an HTTP request to the server after a few seconds. You can see we pass here the debounce function. Now I'm trying to type here something. Yeah, you're gonna check here how to manage state. You can see when I finished typing, we just make an HTTP request to the server. You can see it works pretty well. Okay, you're gonna see again here. I'm gonna try to type here something. You can see, and we haven't yet made an HTTP request to the server. You can see once I finish typing, we make an HTTP request to the server, and this is how the debounce function works, guys. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about the course detail. You can see we have here a button that once we click here, we are going to move to another page in order to edit the course details. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to head into the pages folder, and inside of the pages folder, you can see we have here the courses. Yeah, I'm going to head into pages and admin. We're gonna create in a folder. We're gonna name it course, and we are going to create here a root parameter. Okay. And to create a root parameter, I'm pass here the slag here, slag, and the view. Okay, like this. This is how we create a root parameter in Nuxt, and then that view. And in here, we're gonna put in this content. This is the URL of the page. Okay. Now I'm going to navigate to the page to see how it looks like. Okay, we're gonna pass here admin /course/slag, and we're gonna see this the page, guys. And you can see we are going to have here the title of the course. Okay, I'm gonna zoom a little bit. The title of the course, we're gonna pass it here, and we're gonna pass the category and the price. But also we're gonna have here the edit button. Once we click on the button here, edit, we're going to pop up the model, and then we can edit the title, the category, the price, but also the descriptions. Okay. Yeah, we haven't yet passed the description. I'm gonna look for the place for it, and we can add a photo for a given course. Okay, and so we're gonna have here chapters. We can add a chapter for a given course. Okay, and a chapter can have a video. Okay, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna learn how to do that. Okay, now we're gonna start with the model here, guys. We are going to work on the model. And what I'm going to do first in here, guys, I'm going to do this. Let me first look in here. You can see this, the title. I'm going to modify the width of it. And here we're going to pass here text Excel for the title. And let's see how it looks like. Okay, like this. And we're going to pass here the descriptions of the course. And for the description, I can pass here p tag. And yeah, I'm going to copy that. And then pass in here. We're going to remove that, and we're going to look for a description. I'm going to move in here, and I'm gonna copy something. Let me check here. Yeah, we can copy these few lines in here, and then we're gonna pass in here, and this way we're gonna pass the course description. Okay, now we're gonna move to that page. We're gonna pass a course/slag, and this is how this page looks like, guys. And you can see in here we have the course title, the category, and here the price. And but also we have here at the bottom the descriptions, and we're gonna have here the possibility to add chapters, and each chapter can have a video. Okay, we have here a button to add a video. Now what I'm going to do in here, first of all, I'm going to move in here and pass here Nuxt. Yeah, we're gonna look for a component here, Nuxt loading. Okay. Yeah, loading indicator. Okay, I'm going to use the component into the admin layout. Okay, we are going to add a progress bar at the top of our menu. I'm gonna copy that, and we are going to head into the admin layout and pass admin layout. Okay, and in here we are going to pass it here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pass it here, guys. Let me pass at the top in here and pass this component in here. And then once we are going to visit a given page, you're going to show the component. Okay, I'm going to click here category. You can see we just show the components when we just finish loading the page. And if you move to the courses, you're going to see we're going to show it again. Okay, And now I'm gonna go back to the page course/slack here. And what I'm going to do in here, guys, we are going to create another page here. We are going to head into, you can see we have here the course Slack, and in here we're gonna pass the data. Now the first thing, we're gonna get into the server folder to create an endpoint, and we are going to head into in here. You can see we have here categories, courses, and I'm going to get into in the page here. I'm gonna get into in here in the create the TS for the category. I'm gonna copying a function. Let me copy everything in here, and I'm gonna create a file in the courses folder. I'm gonna name it single course, okay? Single course.ts, and we're gonna put in this code. And what I'm going to do first in here, I'm going to remove everything in here, all of that, and we're gonna pass here course. Okay, we're gonna return an object and pass a course, and here I'm gonna pass a course, and I'm pass here find unique, okay? And we're gonna pass here where, and pass here where, we're gonna pass here where clause, where the Slack here. You're gonna see what we're gonna get here. Let me check here. We have here the Slack, and for the course here, if we get into the Prisma schema, we're gonna see we have the Slack for the course, okay? And you can see this is the Slack. We're gonna use the Slack in order to get all details of a single course. And I'm going to go back in here and pass here where Slack, because we're gonna read it. Pass a const query, okay, is equal to get query like this, and then I'm passing the event, and I'm passing const Slack. I pass a const Slack is equal to query that Slack, and I'm going to assert it as a string like this, okay? And we're gonna pass it the string. You can see actually got an error. Yeah, a string is not assignable to the tab course where unique input, okay? We got an error right here. Okay, let me check into the creator TS where we pass in here. Pass it the name. Okay, now let me check for the Slack into the Prisma schema. In here, the type of Slack is a string here, okay? And in here, I don't know why we got an error, okay? Pass it the Slack, okay, where the Slack is equal to the Slack here, okay? Let me assert it to any to see what we're gonna get here. Okay, I'm gonna do this, find unique. Yeah, I'm going to pass here not find unique because we don't have a unique field for the Slack here, okay? I'm pass here found, okay, found first, okay? Like this, and then we're gonna get rid of the error. And I'm going to pass here course. I'm gonna return the course. And if we don't find the course here, I'm gonna check here if course is undefined. Okay. Yeah, if course is undefined, you can see if we pass here this sign here, it means we're gonna get undefined. Let me show you. If I head into my command prompt in here and pass here node, and I'm tap this sign here, exclamation mark, and then I pass here undefined. Let's say we have here var x, and we don't pass x value. You can see the actual value is undefined. Okay, if I pass this sign and then I pass x, we're gonna get true. Okay, and if the course is undefined, we're gonna throw an error. Okay, we're gonna pass here. Yeah, I'm gonna pass here create error. Okay. And here you're gonna pass it the status message. I'm gonna pass here, yeah, a course not found, and we're gonna throw an error. We're gonna pass the status code of 404, okay? And here you're gonna pass a failed to fetch course, okay? If you guys have an error, which is not this one in here, and then if we don't have an error, we are going to return data. Then here I'm passing the status 200, but also we're going to return the course, and then I'm going to remove that here. Okay, guys, now we are going to head into in here inside the composable folder, and yeah, we have here composables course, and you can see use fetch courses. Okay, now in here I'm going to create here another reactive property and pass here single course data. Okay, is equal to ref. We're going to assign it an empty object. And I'm going to copy that line here. Let me create here another function, a sync function, and we're gonna pass here fetch single course, and we are going to pass it the function. I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, you can see we have here the fetch loading. Okay, I'm gonna remove that. Yeah, I can just keep that here. And course, we're gonna pass here single course, okay, for the endpoints. And for the parameter, we're gonna pass here the slag, and the slag is a string. And I'm pass here the slag, and here you're gonna pass it to this slag like this. Now let's remove the other property here, and we're going to pass here single course data. Okay, single course data, we're gonna pass at the bottom in here. Okay, yeah, like this, and we're gonna remove our property here. Okay, yeah, like this. And once we got data, we are going to pass it to the single course data reactive property. Now let's pass the fetch single course to the return statement so that we're gonna get access to it. Okay, just pass it in here. And now what we're gonna do, we are going to head into the slag.view file, and we're gonna import in here the course tool. And I'm gonna copy that here, and I'm passing to the root parameter, and we're gonna use here composable root is equal to use root composable, and we're gonna pass here the slag. Now I'm passing single course data, I'm passing here, I'm gonna remove our inputs. Okay, and here we are going to pass here the slag. Now I'm passing a weight here, I'm passing a weight, and then I'm passing course. Let's copy the function. Okay, fetch single course, we're gonna pass it in here. Yeah, I'm passing the course to that fetch single course, we're gonna pass the slag, and we're gonna pass a root that params that slag like this. And this is how we're gonna pass the slag. Now let's check here if we're gonna have here the slag. I'm gonna comment this right now, and then I'm passing here the slag at the top of the h2 tag. Okay, this is the slag. Now let's check if we got it. Yeah, I'm tap inner, and then we're gonna check in here if we're gonna get the slag. Okay, and yeah, you can see actually got the slag here at the top. Here we got the slag. You can see we have it here. Okay, this is the slag. And now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go back in here, and then I'm gonna uncomment this line. Okay, and then we're gonna pass here the data. Now in order to pass here the data, we need to do this. We are going to head into the course. We're gonna head into in here, and you can see we have the course table. Now I'm gonna create here another function and pass here first the composable. Yeah, const router is equal to use router, and we're gonna use the use router composable to move to another page and pass here function ccourse and pass here edit course. Okay, and we are going to pass here a course. Okay, and here I'm going to head in. You can see we're gonna copy that, and we're gonna pass that event, that function. We are going to pass it to the course table. Now let's see what we got into the course table. And in here, you can see we have a function edit course. Now, what I'm going to do, you can see in here, we have a button edit, and we pass the course. Now we are going to get access to the slag here. Okay. And now let's go back into the courses, and we're going to pass here this. I'm going to pass here router. Yeah, we're going to pass here router dot push. Okay, and you're gonna pass here /admin /course, and we are going to pass here we're gonna pass here plus we're gonna pass here the course dot slag. Okay, like this, and no error, guys. Okay, everything is okay. Course dot slag, and then we're going to move to that page. Okay, everything is okay. And once we move to the root parameter page, we are going to make an HTTP request to the server in order to fetch data. Okay, and I'm going to copy the single course data. I'm gonna pass it in here at the top to see what we're gonna get from the server. Okay, now let me check in here. Now I'm gonna move to the courses. Yeah, I'm gonna refresh the page right now, and then we are going to see what we're gonna get. Okay, and yeah, you can see actually got data. Okay, I can move in here or in here, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna click here. Okay, I'm gonna click here edit, and for the edit button, I'm gonna add in a class course table. We're gonna pass here a class of cursor pointer. Okay, we want to show a little hand, cursor pointer. Okay, and pass this one, and then let's click now. Here you can see I'm gonna click in here. Yeah, we move to the page. Yeah, admin/course, and how to manage states in view app. This is the Slack, but you can see actually you don't get data. It seems we don't get data here. And let's check in here inside the Slack here. You can see single course data. We don't have data. Okay, and maybe we don't make an NTP request to the server. I'm going to get into the console, and we're going to move to network tab, and we're gonna check what we're gonna get again in here. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to head into the courses page. Okay, and once in here, we're gonna click here, edit. Okay, you can see we make an NTP request to the server. Also, we send the Slack. Okay, I'm gonna click in here. You can see status code 200, and you can see actually we got data. We got data in here, guys. We got data, but actually we don't pass the data to the single course reactive property. Now, what I'm going to do, it seems we don't pass it to the return statement. That's why we don't have the possibility to get access to it. Okay, if I pass in here, and then if I refresh the page, we're going to have the possibility to get access to it. Okay, you're going to see we have it in here. Now we're going to pass here the course title. We're going to go back in here. We're going to use the single course data, and I'm pass here the title here. We're going to pass here the title. Let me check here what we got. Yeah, I'm passing the title. Okay. Yeah, we got here. Yeah, we got here course. Okay. I'm passing course that title. Okay, I'm passing this single course data option training course that title, and then we're gonna have here the title, and we're gonna pass it the description. Okay, I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna pass here the description. Okay, and pass it in here. Yeah, I'm passing description, and I'm gonna remove this p tag in here. And for the description, we are going to use a CKEditor. Yeah, and now let me pass it the price. Let me check in here. We have the price here. For the price here, we don't have the value. We're gonna have here undefined price, and we have here the category. Yeah, now to get the category, you can see we have here, we should pass it the category. To get a category, we need to include it in here, because as we don't include it, we are going to get an error if you try to find it. Okay, and for the category, we can just pass here that. Let me first remove that, and we're going to go back into the single course. Okay, in here, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna pass here include. Okay, we're gonna include the category, and then I'm pass it through. Let's see what we're gonna get again. Now I'm gonna refresh the page here. Now you can see that actually just pass it the category, and I'm going to pass it in here. We're going to move in here, guys. I'm gonna copy that and pass this, and we pass here single course data course, that category, that name, and we pass it the price. And here I'm just checking if we don't have the price, it's undefined. We're gonna pass it this dash, this hyphen, we're gonna display it, else we're gonna display the price. Okay, and actually, yeah, we got here the category, but also the price, but we don't display here the dash here. Okay, and in order to display it, yeah, we can let it like this as we don't have the price. Okay, yeah, we can let it like this. And now I'm going to remove the line here, and we're gonna work on the model. Okay, and now once we click on the button here, we need to pop up the model so that we can edit price details like the title, the category, and the price here. Okay, and let's fix the design here. We are going to increase the width, and let me check the width of the second column. Yeah, of the second row. Yeah, we have here 65. Now I'm gonna pass here 65%. Okay, yeah, we're gonna pass here 65, and we're gonna get the same width. Okay, we have here the same width. Okay, that looks beautiful. And for the title here, let me see how I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, for the title here, we pass here justify between. I'm gonna remove it, and we're gonna have the title at the left here. Okay, and for these two buttons in here, we're going to push them at the right. Okay, now we are going to pass the flex one, And let's check here. We push them at the right here. You're gonna see we're gonna have them at the right. And I'm going to import in the model. So when we're gonna click on the edit button, we're gonna pop it up. And now we're going to head into the courses. I'm gonna copy the course model. We're gonna pass at the top here, and we're going to use the course tool. Yeah, let me copy first the model here. We're gonna pass it in here, and then we're gonna use the course tool in order to show up the model and pass it at the button. And so we're gonna pass here on click events, and pass here on click events. We're gonna pass here course tool that toggle. Yeah, we're gonna pass toggle model like this. And then if we click on the button, we're gonna show up the model. Okay, you can see we have the model in here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the edit property. I'm going to do this. I'm gonna create in here a function. Yeah, we can just pass a function show. Yeah, we can pass a function show model. Okay, and yeah, we can just modify this name and pass here function show edit model. Okay, like this. And for the edit model, we are going to extract the property here like the edit. Okay, and for the edit, we're gonna modify the value to true here is equal to true. And I'm going to head into the course model, and inside of the course model, you can see we extract here the edit property. We have it in here. Yeah, in here we don't use the edit property. Now I'm gonna extract it. I'm gonna pass here edit, and here we're going to pass here. You can see we have here create and pass here if edit is equal to true. We're gonna pass here update, and else we're gonna pass here create. Okay, and even for the buttons in here, we're gonna pass here. I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna pass if edit is equal to true. We're gonna pass here update, else we're gonna pass here create like this. And now if you go into the select view file, and we pass here this function course tool, and we pass here toggle model. Yeah, okay, call that function. And now I'm going to call the show edit model function and pass it to the buttons here. I'm pass to the edit button, and then now let's click on the button. Now I'm gonna click here. You're gonna see we're gonna pop up the model. I'm gonna refresh the page, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. Now let's click in here. Okay, we don't show the model, guys. And now, yeah, we pass here toggle model. Okay, let me pass here toggle model like this. Okay, and then let's call the function show edit model. We're gonna pass it to the button. Okay, and pass it in here. Okay, like this. Everything is okay. Now let's try this again. We're gonna refresh the page, and again we're gonna click here edit. Yeah, we don't show up the model. It seems we don't pass the edit property to the return statements. That's why we have that error. Okay, and now we are going to head into the use create course update, and in here, guys, create update. Yeah, this for the course. Yeah, we don't pass the edit property here. We're gonna pass sequence edit is equal to ref default value. We're gonna pass false. And now we're going to pass it in here. We're going to pass here edit. Okay, and now let's check again here. Yeah, we're going to pass here comma. Yeah, we're going to click here edit, and you can see actually pop up the model, and the value here for the title we have here update course. Okay, now I'm going to pass here add a field, like we're going to pass the category, the price. We're going to add a field. Okay, and here we're going to go back into the course model, and in here I'm going to do this. Yeah, first of all, let's go into the courses, and we're going to copy this function in order to get all courses, all categories. Yeah, I'm gonna copy that categories. Okay, category. Okay, I'm gonna copy that line here, and then I'm passing to this select view file. We're gonna pass it here at the top. And now we are going to go back into the course model, and instead of the course model, we're gonna pass it other inputs. Yeah, we have here the select. I'm gonna copy that. Yeah, let me copy that here. I'm gonna pass here another input for the price. Okay, we can say for the price, pass the price. Yeah, into the price, and here let's check this. This is gonna be for the price. I'm passing the price for the validation. and here we're gonna pass here the price. Okay, yeah, let's check here and see what we got here. Yeah, we have here an error. We're gonna refresh the page, and for the price here, it seems we don't have this property to the course input. Okay, let's check here. If we don't pop up the model, it seems we got an error. Okay, yeah, we got an error, and here price, and you can see actually we don't have here the price. Okay, and for the price, I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm passing the price. This is the price, and then let's check again. Yeah, we're gonna pass a comma, and we are going to pass also the description. Okay, yeah, let's click here again. Yeah, you can see we have here the price. Okay, and this input, we are going to show it if the value of the edit property is equal to true. Okay, now I'm going to add here a little check. Like we're gonna pass a viv, we're gonna pass the edit. Okay, if edit is equal to true, we're gonna show it out. Okay, we're gonna show that input. Okay, I'm gonna click here, we show it, and if the edit is equal to false, we are going to hide that input. Now, if we head into the courses, and in here, if I click here, you're gonna see we are going to add. We're gonna add it. Okay, when we are going to pop up the model, you can see actually we don't hide it. Okay, now in order to hide it, I'm going to head into the course use create update course. In here we have a model. We have here this line. I'm going to initialize. I'm gonna modify the name of the edit property, and once again, if we click here, we are not going to show that input. Okay, but instead we're gonna show here two inputs. Okay, now let's check again. Okay, let's go back in here to get data. And if I click here, we're gonna have here three inputs. Yeah, you can see actually we still have here two inputs. Okay, and here what I'm going to do, you can see in here we just change the value of the reactive property in here, and we call the function toggle model. Now I'm going to refresh the page here and see what we're gonna get in here, because we just change here the value. Okay, and now I'm gonna click here again. You can see actually we have here two inputs. Okay, yeah, we have here two inputs. Now what I'm going to do, you can see inside of the toggle model function we have we pass here edit is equal to false. That's why we don't show three inputs. Now in order to show a three input, we're gonna pass here model value is equal to true, and if we click here, we're gonna have here three inputs. Okay, let's check again. We have here three inputs: title, price, and category. Now we're gonna add here also the description. We are going to head into the course model, and in here we're gonna pass here this input. Yeah, and pass this one here. Okay, and we're gonna pass here the description, and before that I'm going to add here another field. We're gonna pass here the price, yeah, like this, but also I'm passing the description. Okay, and here I'm passing the description. Okay, description, and we are going to go back inside the course model and pass here the description. I'm passing description like this. Okay, and I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it in here, and also I'm going to pass here the course input, because we want to inspect which kind of value we are passing in it. Okay, we need to know if we are passing properties. This property that we got inside the course inputs have value. Okay, and pass it in here. Now let's check again. I'm gonna click here. You can see actually we have here the ID. The actual value is now. I'm gonna select here right now the category. We pass here the category ID, and yeah, we're gonna pass here the title. The title is the value. The price is the value. Now for the description, we pass it to the value. Now we have here the user ID, and for the user ID, we have here inside of the use create update course, we have a composable in here, which is the use user composable provided by Clerk. Okay, now I'm gonna copy that, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, pass in here, and we are going to extract also the course input and pass the course input. Okay, this is the course input. Let me check again here. We have here the course input. I'm gonna copy that line here, and what I'm going to do, yeah, instead of passing here, instead of importing the course input in here, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna create a function. that allows to pass to the course inputs the value of the user ID. Now let's go back in here, and we're gonna pass a function, and we're gonna say pass user ID. Yeah, we're gonna pass here append. Yeah, we can pass the append user ID prop value, okay, and pass it in here. We can just do things like this, okay. And once we tag the model, we're gonna call a function, and I'm gonna pass the function to the return statement so that we're gonna get access to it, and pass it in here. And outside of the PNSO, we are going to head into now in here, and we're gonna pass here the course tool, and we're gonna call the function like this: append user ID prop value, okay. Append user ID properly the value, okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna remove that prop here, and now we're gonna check again in here. And if I click here edit, you can see actually pass here the user ID, okay. And we have here, yeah, we have here the title, the price, the descriptions, the category ID, and for the ID here that we're gonna use in order to update the field, the course, we need to pass it to the value. Now to pass the value, you can see in here we have this line here. This is an object, and pass it in here. Pass here the single course data that course, okay. And in here pass here that ID, and this course ID. Now we're gonna pass it the property, and if type of ID is not undefined, okay. If it's not undefined, we are going to pop up the model, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm passing in here course inputs that value here like this, that ID, okay. And if I click here again, we're gonna pass the value. You can see pass the values right there. And now we're gonna send the data to the server. And before that, we are going to head into the course model. You can see inside of the course model, we have here some property that we run validation against, and I'm gonna extract some property. For creating the course, we use here this free property, okay. And now I'm passing you a condition, okay. We're gonna pass this and pass edit that value, okay. Right now, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna pass here something like this, and pass here, yeah, you can see pass here the state here. Let me do this. Yeah, I'm pass here. We're gonna pass here the course. Yeah, we're gonna pass the course input. But for the rules here, I'm going to extract here some property, okay? And I'm going to do something like this. I'm passing. Let me do this, and I'm passing cons. Yeah, we can say we're gonna pass here create props. I'm gonna pass create props, and to get the create props, we are going to do this something like this: cons, and I'm gonna extract the title, we're gonna extract the category ID, and we're gonna extract the user ID, and I'm passing here we're gonna get the rest props, okay. And for the rest prop here, we're gonna have the price and description, and is equal to rules, okay. And here we're gonna pass here create props, and we are going to do this. Yeah, we can say props to validate, and here we can pass here props to validate, okay. Props to validate, okay. And I'm gonna pass here an object. I'm gonna copy in the title. Yeah, we can just pass here right now edit to make a check, and if the value is equal to true, it means we're gonna update. And as we need to update, we're gonna send all this property here. We're gonna validate all this property, and we're gonna return here the rules, okay. If edit is equal to true, we're gonna pass here the rules, okay. And else we are going to pass here only the props, okay. We're gonna pass here only the props here, and here I'm pass here we're gonna pass here rest props, okay. For the rest props here, we have the price. Yeah, for the rest prop here, we're gonna pass here. I can just remove here the price, and here I'm gonna remove the description. Yeah, we're gonna remove the description and the user ID. And for the rest props here, we're gonna get the title, category ID, and user ID, okay. And that's what pass in here. And we're gonna use the rest props. We're gonna use the rest props when we want to create a course. we're gonna run the validation against these three inputs, okay? And now I'm gonna copy the props to validate. I'm gonna pass it in here where we got rules, okay? Like this. Yeah, everything is correct now. Now we're gonna try to make an HTTP request to the server, okay? Now let's try this. And also we are going to head into the use create update course, the TS composable. And in here, I'm gonna copy the line here and pass here const edit. Yeah, we're gonna pass the endpoint and pass endpoint and is equal to edit. Okay, that's value. If the value is equal to true, we're gonna update. And we are going to pass here / here updates. Else we're gonna create, okay? Here we're gonna pass here create. And I'm gonna copy that endpoint. That's what I'm passing to the fetch function, okay? Yeah, like this. And everything is okay right now. And once we finish making this HTTP request, we're gonna change the value of the edit property and pass here edit that value is equal to false again, okay? And also we're gonna close the model and pass here show model. Yeah, show model that value is equal to false, okay? And here we're gonna display here the results. Okay, now let's try it again. I'm going to head into the browser, and in here we're gonna click here on edit. Actually, we don't do anything. You can see actually we don't pop up the model. And now I'm gonna head up to the course details page, and here we're gonna click here edit again. And you can see actually we got an error, cannot read properties of undefined reading errors. And the this error is provoked by the use view validate composable. And we're gonna fix that. We are going to head into the course model again. And in here you can see when the edit property is equal to false, we pass here the rules. Okay, the rules represent all this property here, the title, category ID, the user ID. But actually, as the edit property is equal to false, we just pass only the rest props here. You can see for the rest props, we have the title, category, and the user ID. But for the price and description, we don't pass this property to the use validate composable. That's why we got this type of error. And in order to fix this error, you can see in here, we are going to pass the option chaining in order to remove that error. You can see in here, this says this. You can see cannot read properties of undefined reading errors. And they don't find the property. Since they don't find the property, we are going to throw an error, okay? And if I pass here option chaining and pass the option chaining, and here too where we got the select tag, yeah, I'm gonna pass here where we got the description, we're gonna pass here option chaining in here. And so we are going to head into the form header, and we're gonna pass here option chaining, okay? In case inside the errors array we don't got anything, we are not going to throw an error, but instead it's gonna be undefined, okay? And here I'm pass here option chaining everywhere to see what we're gonna get, so that we are not going to provoke that error, okay? And here I'm gonna click here edit again. I'm going to click here again edit. You can see actually pop up the model and we don't have the error again. And now let's see if the validation works pretty well. Yeah, you can see that actually the validation works for the title. You can see for the title it works, okay? And let me check for the category. For the category it doesn't work. For the price it doesn't work, but we're gonna fix that. And now let's try to pass the title, okay? If I pass the title it works. And now what I'm going to do, I'm try to update first this title to see if we are going to update the title, okay? And here I'm pass this title, and here we're gonna pass how to manage states in view apps. I'm pass here an S, and for the price I can pass it 12, and TypeScript I'm pass TypeScript, and I'm pass here, yeah, content here and let's click here update. We are going to head into the network tab and see what we're gonna send here. Yeah, we got an error, and here update. Yeah, you can see we send here the category ID, description, the ID here, the price, title, user ID, but we got an error. Let's see, failed to create course, okay? And now you can see in here the price here is the price is a string. Now, in order to fix that, I'm going to get into inside the use grid update cluster tiers, and in here I'm going to send here a number for the price. I'm going to pass a const, and I'm going to extract the price, and then I'm pass here res input like this is equal to the course input that value. Okay, I'm not assigning this. And then I'm gonna comment this line here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pass here an object. And in here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the res input. We're gonna pass here res input, okay, like this. And then we're gonna pass here the price. I'm passing price, and I'm pass here parsing to convert the price property to a number. I'm passing price, okay, like this. I'm passing the price, okay. And then like this, we are going to send a number for the price is the value of the price, okay? And then we're going to try it again. And what I'm going to do again here, guys, you can see actually, if we head into the updated tiers, you can see actually we don't send validation errors. You can see we pass here validation errors. We don't send that property right here. And in order to send it, we are going to pass here the data, okay? We're going to pass it the data property. You can see I'm passing the data. We're going to remove that. You can see if we put our cursor over the create error function, this says that we need to pass it the data, okay, instead of the validation error. If we pass it the validation errors property, we are not going to get it into the try catch, okay? And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass here the data. Yeah, let's pass here the data, okay, like this. And then we're going to scroll down. In here, we're going to pass here the data, and I'm pass you the error, okay, like this. And then I'm going to remove this one in here, okay. And now let's try it again, okay. Now I'm going to head into the use grid update tiers, and in here I'm going to copy this. I'm going to comment this line, and then I pass here this one. I pass here. Yeah, we're going to copy the course inputs. We're going to pass it to the gsendStringify function, okay? Let's pass it in here and see what we're going to get in here, guys. Now, I'm not click here, edit again, okay? Actually, we don't get data. I'm going to move to the courses, okay? We're going to move to the page, and then I'll click here, edit again. And then we're going to move to the page here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm click here, edit. And now let's pass here this title, okay? We're going to pass it the title, and I'm passing the price, the category, and description. I'm passing description, And now let's send that again, okay? And I'm going to click here, update again. Yeah, you can see actually you got another error, okay? And let's see the response here. You can see that actually we got here the data, and we have here some error message. You can see for the price, you can see price must be a number. For the description, minimum 50 characters, okay? We got validation errors in here. And now what I'm going to do, in order to get access to these validation errors, we are going to pass here constant const saver and pass saver error, okay, is equal to error dot data like this. And then we're gonna tap here console.log, and then I pass the saver error, and you're gonna see what we're gonna get inside the console, okay? Now let's click here updates, and you can see we got here an object, okay? We have here the price and the price property, but also the validation error. You can see this is the validation error that we define error save, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I have here a function to display this message. I'm gonna copy that in here, and then we're going to put it into the URLs folder. You can see we have here the URLs folder. I'm passing show saver error, okay, saver error.ts, okay, yeah, like this, and then we're gonna pass it in here. And you can see in here, we pass here data, okay, I'm passing the data like this. And then in here, we're going to get here an object, okay. And then in here, I just check here if we got, yeah, let me comment this right now because we are not going to use that. And in here, as we got here an object, I'm going to iterate through that object, and then I'm pass here input error message of errors, and then I'm pass here the property name. You can see when we're going to iterate through the object, we're going to get the name of the property, and then you can see in here we have here the price. We're going to take the price, and then we're going to get access to the array, and inside of the array we have an item, okay, and then we're going to pass it to the show error function, okay. And let me check in here. We have here show saver error. Yeah, we got here another function show saver error, okay. And here we have here another function show saver error. I'm not modify that. Let me copy that one, and we're gonna pass into the show saver error file. And here I'm pass here show validation errors, okay. We're gonna rename it show validation errors, okay. Like this, we're gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass it as a name here, okay. And then I'm gonna copy this function, and we're gonna pass it into the use create update tiers and pass it in here, okay. We're gonna pass it in here. Let me pass it in here, okay. Yeah, like this, and then I'm pass here the error, okay, like this. And then we're gonna remove that, and we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Now let's try this. And I'm gonna click here again. Yeah, you can see that actually pass here the message. You can see must be a number. And now in order to display a better message, we are going to head into in here. We are going to move to update tiers, and we have here the update core schema. Yeah, and in here you can see we have price is required. You can see this must be a number. We're gonna pass here price must be a number, okay. And for the description, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna pass it in here, and in here too, and in here, okay. And now let's try it again and see what we're gonna get in here. Now I'm gonna click here and see, you're gonna see we're gonna get here something. Yeah, price must be a number, description minimum 50 characters, okay. 50 characters long. We can add that if you want, okay. And yeah, for the title too, I'm gonna copy that and pass here the title, and here we're gonna pass it title, and here title. Yeah, like this. And now I'm going to fix an error. You can see inside the update TS endpoint, we pass here the data to pass this array to inside the try catch, okay. Now we're gonna do the same thing in here. I'm going to copy that, and here we are going to head into the creator TS. We're gonna pass it in here. Yeah, and pass it data, and I'm passing it to the data. We're gonna let me check into, yeah, we're going to check into the categories create, and we're gonna pass here the data like this, and we're gonna pass here the data, okay, data, and then I'll pass you the error, so that we're gonna return validation errors for inputs, okay. And here everything is okay. Let's head into the updates and pass here the data, and inside the catch here we're gonna pass here data, okay. Yeah, let me pass here data, and we're gonna pass here the error, okay, the error like this. Now let's head into the create update TS course, and in here we're gonna remove the second line in here because we need to send a valid input, okay. For the price must be a number, and so I'm gonna remove that. And in here we're gonna check here. We're going to head into courses, okay, and I'm gonna click here edit again, okay. And in here I'm gonna click here. We're gonna pass here for the title. Let me copy that, and pass this one here, and we're gonna pass here how to manage states in a view app, okay. And where you can see we pass here view, we're gonna pass here view, yeah, in view free app, okay. And here I'm pass here 12, and for the category I'm select here, let's select here, yeah, I'm gonna select even a JavaScript, okay. And yeah, we're gonna try this. I'm gonna click here update, okay. Let's see what we're gonna get. Yeah, you can see actually got a message here, course created successfully, and we should get here course updated successfully, okay. update. Let's head into update TS, and you can see we're gonna pass it successfully. It works pretty well, guys. Okay, and now I'm gonna move to courses again, and let's see what we're gonna get in here. Okay, let's move to the courses page here. Okay, and let's see what we're gonna get. Okay, we're gonna wait a bit. And you can see in here, we update the title, how to manage sets in Vue4 app, okay? It works pretty well, but also we change the category in here, okay? It was jQuery, now we pass it JavaScript, okay? Alright guys, now we're gonna install CKEditor 5 inside of our Nuxt app. We're gonna replace the text editor tag that we use for the description. And in here, in order to have the CKEditor 5 inside of our app, we are going to type the following commands. The first one, let me show you in here, guys. You're going to type this one here, npm install CKEditor 5. You're going to type this command. The second one is npm install CKEditor /CKEditor-view. Okay. And the third one, npm install CKEditor /CKEditor 5 -build -classic. Okay, install this free package, and then you're gonna get CKEditor inside a Nuxt app. Okay, and here you're gonna create a component inside of the component folder. You can see we have the base folder. You're gonna pass here rich editor. Okay, and in here I pass you some property, which is the value editor, model value, and updates model value. Okay, pass it in here, and then we pass. And then let me first get into the plugin folder. Let me head into in here. Okay, you're gonna create a plugins folder. Okay, and inside the plugin folder, we're gonna pass here CKEditor. We're gonna pass a plugin.client.ts. And if you don't know how to create a plugin, Nuxt, go check it out this video. I explain what is a plugin and how to create one in Nuxt. Okay. And then in here, we just import the CKEditor and the classic editor, and we pass it as a plugin in here, okay? And then inside the rich editor components, we use it, okay? And you can see in here, we use the use Nuxt app composable in order to call that plugin, okay? The last thing we're gonna do, we are going to head into, I'm gonna copy here another code in here. And then we are going to head into in here. We're going to get into the course model. Okay. Yeah, we're going to head into in here. You can see we have here the course model. And in here, what I'm going to do, I'm pass here clients only. And we use here clients only because we want to render the rich editor on the client. We don't want to render the components on the server. And in here, we're going to pass here the description. I'm passing the course description. I'm copy that. And then I'm passing description like this. And then I'm gonna copy it again. We're gonna pass it in here, okay? And then we're gonna pass it right here, okay? Is a parameter, okay? And then I'm gonna remove that line here. I'm gonna comment this line here. And here we're gonna pass it. You can see pass it fallback. I'm gonna remove it. And we show the fallback when we are loading the component, okay? I'm gonna remove that here, okay? And then let's try to see what we're gonna get. And yeah, we're gonna move here. I'm gonna click here, edit. And you can see that actually we have here CKEditor, okay? It works very well. Now, what I'm going to do in here, I'm not explaining one more thing about plugins. And I'm going to stress something about plugins. And in here you can see our plugin has a name of CKEditor.client.ts, and I pass here that client.ts because I want to render the plugin only on the client but not on server, okay? And that's why I pass here that clients, okay? And if you want to create a plugin that you want to render only on the server, you can pass here the name of the plugin .server.ts, and this plugin is going to be rendered only on the server, okay? And here we have a plugin which is going to be rendered only on the client. And as I said before, if you want to learn more about plugins, you can go check it out this video. I teach everything you need to know about plugins, okay? And now we are going to modify this UI in here. You can see it doesn't look beautiful. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to head into the Slack.view file, and then I'm gonna remove everything inside the template tag, and then we're gonna pass here a new one. Okay, it's gonna look like this. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, and so we're gonna have here the thumbnail of the image. Let me remove here something. Yeah, let me remove that content in here, and then we're gonna have here something like this. Yeah, we're gonna have here the thumbnail of the course. Okay, course title, and here we're gonna pass here the instructor name, and here we're gonna pass the chapters, and here we're gonna pass here our edit button here. You can see I've already created a copy of our first design, and what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna copy first. I'm going to head into the course model, and in here we have the CKEditor. Okay, and here this is the CKEditor. Okay, CKEditor. Okay, and we use it in here. Now I'm going to do this. I'm gonna remove it in here. I'm gonna remove that in here, and I'm going to remove it to, I'm gonna remove this line to here, and we're going to go into the Slack.view, and you can see we pass it description. We're gonna pass it the CKEditor. Okay, and here I'm passing description like this, and now I'm gonna comment the validation. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go back again inside the course model. We're gonna copy a button. Okay, now we're gonna copy this button here, and we're gonna pass it in here. Yeah, you can see we have here the Slack and pass it here. Okay, and right now we can have here some errors. I'm gonna remove this line, and also for the edit here, I'm gonna pass here only update. Okay, I'm gonna remove this, and for the loading right now I'm passing here false, because we haven't yet extracted the property. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can see actually got an error inside the course model, and here I'm gonna fix here something. Okay, the course model, and here we're gonna fix here something. Yeah, for the description, I'm gonna remove that like this, and we're gonna remove this in here. And even for the save, we're going to get into the update course.ts, and we're gonna remove here the description. I'm gonna comment this line, and here we're gonna create here another endpoint. We're gonna name it update description. Okay, update course and pass update description. Okay, like this, the TS, and then I'm gonna copy everything inside the update.ts, and I'm gonna put it into the update description. And here we're gonna request on here the title, okay, the ID, but also the title. We're gonna request here only the ID and description, and we're gonna remove other field here. Okay, and here I'm gonna remove here the title. Yeah, we're gonna stay with the description only. Okay, I'm gonna do this, remove that here, and yeah, everything is okay here. And then here we're gonna pass a course description update successfully, and pass a course description updated successfully. Okay, like this. And if we have here an error, we're gonna pass a failed to update course description. Okay, and pass this, and you can see in here we use the update course schema. We're gonna create here another schema. We are going to head into the validation course, and I'm gonna copy everything here, update course schema. We're gonna create here another schema for the description. Okay, I'm gonna remove the description in here, and I'm gonna pass here this. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove the category, and here we're gonna pass here update the course description schema. Okay, like this, and we're gonna copy that. We're gonna pass into in here, and then I'm passing here. We are going to remove this one here and import the update course description schema. Okay, like this, and we're gonna create also an endpoint, and also we're gonna create a function for that. We are going to head into we are going to pass a use create update course.ts in here, and we're gonna create here another function. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass it in here. And right here, we're gonna pass here. Now we're gonna have here, let me copy this endpoint, and then I'm gonna remove that line, and we're gonna pass it in here. Yeah, I'm pass here this, and here we're gonna pass here update course. You can see this is the name of the endpoint. You can see update description, okay? And here I'm passing update description, okay, like this. And we are going to send here the description, and you can see we have here the course inputs. We're gonna extract only the description. I'm passing description, and then we're gonna pass it in here. I'm gonna copy it here. I'm gonna pass it in here and here too, and I'm gonna remove here the rest inputs like this. And here, let me first comment this line. Edit false, show model false. I'm gonna comment this, and I'm gonna comment this too. Okay. And then we're gonna show the message, and we're gonna we are going to modify the safe loading reactive property. Okay, I'm gonna remove that too in here. And for the name of the function, I'm passing update. Yeah, I'm passing update course description, update course description, okay, like this. And we're gonna copy that. And now what I'm going to do, and then we are going to get access to the function, okay. Yeah, we're gonna use the course store, and here on click event, we are going to pass here the course store like this, that, and we're gonna call that. And here we have we're gonna extract the safe loading property, safe loading like this, and we're gonna pass it to the backend here. Yeah, we have here loading, we're gonna pass it in here. Yeah, like this. Okay. Yeah, everything is okay in here. And yeah, let's check that. And some pass here div, and I'm pass here class, and I'm pass here margin bottom. Margin bottom, we're gonna pass it too. And also for the button, we're gonna pass here the class of flex, and I'm pass here flex, and we are going to move it at the right. Okay, I'm copy that. We're gonna pass it in here, and we're gonna copy also the rich editor. We're gonna pass into the div here. Okay, and let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, we have here the space, but we don't push the button at the right. Okay, yeah, I'm pass here justify end. We're gonna pass here another class which is justify. Yeah, I'm pass justify end. Okay, like this. And then we're gonna push the button at the right. You can see we have the button at the right. Now what we're gonna do here, guys, we are going to pass here the course inputs. You can see we have the course inputs, and inside of the course inputs, yeah, we have here the description. We're gonna pass the value once we visit the page, and we have here the user ID. Yeah, we have here the user ID here, and here we have here the ID. Now we're gonna use here, we're gonna pass here the ID in description so that we can have the possibility to update the description. Okay, and what I'm going to do, we are going to head into the use fetch courses, and you can see we have here fetch single course. And here what I'm going to do, I'm pass here return, I'm pass here return, and you're gonna pass here data.value. We're gonna return the data here. We're gonna pass we're gonna return it to the fetch single course function, and then we're going to go back in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna move at the top here. You can see we pass here this, we call the fetch single course function, and now I'm pass here that. Then here we're gonna pass the course inputs, that value, that description. We're gonna pass the description that we got from the server, and then we're gonna pass it also, and also we're gonna pass it the ID, pass it the ID like this. And now let's check again, and you can see in here, if I move on the page courses, we are going to head into courses, and then we're gonna come back on the page. Okay, now we're on the courses page. Now I'm gonna click here edit, and once we land on the page, you can see we pass here the ID, and we pass here the description. And now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna click here now update. Okay, ID is required, and also we're gonna send the ID. We're gonna get into the use create or update course.ts. and update course description. And here too, I'm pass you the ID. Okay, pass you the ID like this, and we're gonna extract it in here. Okay, and if we try it again here, we're gonna update. Okay, and I'm click here. You're gonna see we're gonna get course description updated successfully. You can see that actually works. Okay, and now let's pass you the price. We don't display the price here. We're gonna display it. We are going to move here, and for the price, I'm gonna copy that here, and I'm passing here, and I'm gonna copy this line here. We're gonna pass it in here for the price, and here I'm passing dollar. Okay, we're gonna pass here the price. Let's see what we're gonna get here. Okay, this is the price here. Okay, now we're gonna upload an image for this course, and it's gonna be, we're gonna work on the second bar, and here you can see we have a camera icon, and we are going to head into the course folder. Here you can see we have components, course folder, and we're gonna copy everything from the course model. Okay, and we're gonna put it into the upload image model. Okay, pass here upload image model the view. Okay, like this, and we're gonna put in everything. And what I'm going to do in here, I'm gonna delete everything inside the body slot. Okay, we have here the body slot. We're gonna delete everything, and for the title here, we're gonna pass course upload course thumbnail, upload course thumbnail. Okay, and this is gonna be the thumbnail. Okay, like this, and we are going to remove everything in the script tag. And inside this, in here for this button, we're gonna pass here upload. Okay, and pass here for the label, we're gonna pass here upload image. Okay, like this. Now we're going to create here another function to send the image from the server. We're gonna pass here upload, and pass here upload image to server. Okay, pass upload image to server. We're gonna pass this, and right now I'm gonna pass in we're gonna pass in console.log and we're gonna pass here a sync like this. Okay, and let's copy the function, and we're gonna pass it to the button here. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna install Malta for uploading image on server. I'm gonna copy that. We're going to head into the command line, and then we're gonna pass here npm install Malta like this, and then let's continue. And for the body here, we're gonna put in the contents. I have here the image tag. We're gonna pass it in here. Okay, let's pass it in the body slot. Okay, you can see we have here the image tag, we have here the label, and the input here. And now let's create the select image function. And in here, we're gonna pass a function select image and pass here the event. And then here we're gonna pass here, we're gonna create here edit tab, we're gonna create a constant image is equal to ref. We're gonna pass it now like this, and then we're gonna create a constant selected image, and we're gonna pass the event that targets that files. Okay, and then we're gonna pass the selected image to the output image, and pass output is equal to document that query selector. We're gonna select the image tag output image like this. Okay, and here we're going to pass the selected file to the output image tag. We're gonna pass output.source, and we're gonna pass a URL that create object URL. We're gonna pass the selected file, and then we're gonna freeze the memory. We're gonna freeze up the memory. We're gonna pass here on load. Once we just finish passing the image to the image tag, we need to freeze up the memory. Okay, and here I'm pass here another function. Output that onload is equal to a function which is a callback, and we are going to pass a URL that revoke object URL. We're gonna pass it the selected image. Okay, image that value is equal to selected image. Okay, like this. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into composable. We're going to create a composable for that model, and we're going to head into courses folder. We're going to pass the upload course image. Okay, yeah, for the composable we need to pass use upload course image. Okay, this is the name of the composable. .ts like this. Now let's head in, and in here we're gonna pass here, we're gonna export the composable, and we are going to pass here, we're gonna create here the image ref, and we're gonna pass it to the return statement and pass here return, and we're gonna pass the image. Now for uploading the image, we're gonna use form data, and in here you can see if I move here inside Postman and I select here form data, and we're gonna have here this object right here. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass it to the fetch function. Okay, and in here we're gonna have here function upload image. Okay, and here we are going to pass here this. We're gonna pass a const data. Okay, we are going to pass here $fetch, and we're gonna pass here the API and pass API. We are going to head into courses. Yeah, let's remove that. We're gonna pass the API. We're gonna get into courses that upload image like this, and we're gonna pass here. Yeah, we can pass here upload and pass upload image payload. Okay, payload like this, payload. And now let's create the function and pass here function upload image payload. Okay, and then we are going to pass here, we're gonna pass a promise because I want to return here something. Yeah, let me check here, or we can just do this. I'm gonna remove that here, and then I'm pass here that. I'm gonna remove that and pass here the payload, and we're gonna pass a payload. Okay, and in here we pass here new form data. We're gonna pass here the course ID. Okay, we're gonna pass the course ID. We're gonna say the type here is a string, and we're gonna pass here the file. We're gonna pass here string. Okay, and now let's pass here the image and pass here the image, and here and pass here the file, and here we're gonna pass here the course ID, and here too course ID like this. And here we should pass here res, and I'm pass here is equal to await. Okay, like this. And here we can we're gonna get rid of the redirect. Yeah, like this. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this into try catch. In case we got an error, we are going to fix that. We're gonna catch it and pass it. In case we got an error, we're gonna pass here function show saver error. Yeah, we're gonna pass here show validation error. Show, yeah, I can just pass you show error, and I'll pass error that message. Yeah, like this. And now let's pass here a sync. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, we're gonna pass now the upload image. We're gonna pass to the return statement, and we're going to go into the core store, and we're gonna call that composable. Okay, and now I'm gonna copy the composable. We are going to head into the core store, and in here we're gonna pass here this composable course and pass here const upload image props. Okay, like this is equal to use upload course image, use upload course image. Okay, and we're gonna upload the composable. In here we're gonna pass here these properties. Okay, and I'm copy that. We're gonna pass it in here. Okay, like this. Now let's head into the server folder to create an endpoint that allows to upload an image into the public folder. And we're going to head into the public folder. You can see we have a public folder and pass here the name of the folder uploads. Okay, like this. And we're going to head into the course folder. Yeah, we have here save folder and pass here create the tiers. Yeah, we're gonna head into the create in here, and we're gonna pass here upload image .ts. Okay, this is the new endpoint, and I'm not passing this code. Let me explain. And we import here Malta, and we import also the path module from Node and the FS module, and we have the storage function here. And from this line here, we specify the path where we're gonna upload the image, and you can see we pass here the uploads folder is located into the public folder, and I'm just checking in here by using the fs.exist sync. We are checking if the upload folder exists. If it doesn't exist, we're gonna create it with the make their sync function. Okay, and here we scroll down, we have here the file name, and here we modify the file name. And let's say the file name can be let's say we have here the image, the file name is, let's say, java.jpeg. This is the file name, and we're gonna modify it to this name in here. You can see we pass here the current date, and then we concatenate it with the file extension. Okay, and then we're gonna get a new name for the upload image. Okay, now we have here the image filter function, and we are checking if the upload image is one of these allowed tabs here, and we accept JPEG, AVIF, GIF, JPG, and PNG. Okay, and if is not, we're gonna send an error, invalid file extension. Okay, and from here we specify the image size. We accept here 2 megabytes. And we have here the upload course image, and we pass here the events. And in here, we just get access to the data sent from the client. And the data sent from the client, we have the selected file, but also the course ID. Okay, and we're just checking if these two inputs are not undefined. And if these two inputs are undefined, we're gonna pass here missing file or create course ID. And then we are going to upload and then here we are going to return an image URL that we're going to store into the database. And now we are going to import here Prisma clients. Okay, and then I'm pass here the course ID, because we're going to send the course ID in here, and we're going to pass here the course here. We're going to import here the course. Now let's head into the Prisma schema, and you can see in here we have the image URL. Inside the course table we have the image URL. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass it in here and pass it the image URL like this, and then pass here update. Okay, we're gonna pass here where the course, we're gonna pass here where the course ID is equal to the course ID, and pass here course ID like this. We get rid of the error. Okay, everything is correct, and the tab number is not assignable to the tab string. Okay, this one here, the tab number. Okay, and in here we're going to pass here for the course ID and pass here a string to remove that error. Pass the string. Okay, here and pass here this. Okay, and the error disappeared. Everything is correct right here. Now what I'm going to do next, we are going to import the upload image model into the Slack.view file. And now let's head into the Slack.view file and pass here Slack, and we're gonna head into the file, and we are going to pass here the model, and this is the model, which is right here. I'm gonna click here, rename, to copy the name, and I'm gonna pass it in here, and which is the upload image model. And also we're gonna create a reactive property. You can see if we head into the upload image model, we need to pass it a property right here, which you can see we have the base model, and it takes a property. Okay, it's a Boolean value. And now we are going to pass here another function into the composable use upload course image, and I'm pass here a constant show. We're gonna pass here show image model. Okay, we're gonna pass here a value. We're gonna pass here ref default value. We're gonna pass here false like this, and then I'm gonna pass it to the return statement. And also we are going to create here a function in order to toggle the model. Okay, and I'm pass a function toggle model, and we are going to pass here show image model. We're gonna pass a show image model like this. Is different from show image model. Okay, that value like this. And also we're gonna pass the toggle model function. We're gonna pass to the return statement like this. And now we're going to head into the Slack the view file. Okay, and in here, what I'm going to do in here, we are going to pass here a function. We're going to extract here a function. We have here the course model, and yeah, you can see, guys, we are going to modify the name here that we pass into the composable in here. You can see we have the same function into the use create update ts. We got the same function in here. We have here toggle model. Now I'm gonna modify the name to avoid errors, and then here I'm passing toggle image model. Yeah, this is a better name, toggle image model, and then we're gonna get access to it. Now let's head into in here, and then here we are going to pass it in here. You can see we have another button right here where we have the camera image, and then on click here, on click event, we're gonna pass the course store like this, that's toggle image model. Okay, and then we're gonna pop up the model. Okay, now let's check here. Before that, let's copy also this line, and we're gonna put it into the upload image model. We're gonna put it in here. Okay, like this, and here we're gonna pass here show image model. Okay, this is a property, and I'm gonna pass it in here. Okay, yeah, we are going to pass here this line. Okay, and in order to close the model, you can see if I click here on the camera icon, we're gonna show this upload image model. And also, if we put our cursor on the camera icon, we should pass here a tooltip. Let me pass here to the button. You can pass it the title. Let's see what we're gonna pass to it. Okay, now, yeah, we have here the button, and pass here the title attribute, and pass the title, and here we're gonna pass it edit course, and for the second one we can pass here upload image, and pass here or pass upload course image. Okay, like this. And then we have a tooltip upload course image, and for the edit we have edit course. Now let's click here, and we're gonna choose a thumbnail right here. I got a bunch of thumbnail right here, and you can see that actually we just select a file. Now we're gonna send the file to the server. Now to send the file to the server, you can see if we head into the Slack here, we have a function here, which is the show edit model. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna pass the show edit model the course ID. Okay, and here we have here the toggle image model. Okay, now I'm gonna pass it an ID. Okay, and here we're gonna pass here that course.id, and we are going to use that ID inside the toggle image model. Now let's head into the use upload course image, and in here we're gonna pass that ID in here. Now I'm passing here, we're gonna type here, this is the course ID, and I'm say the type is a string. And now I'm gonna create here an input and say upload image input, and inside the upload image input we're gonna pass it to property the course ID and the image. Okay, the selected image course ID, and pass here, and we're gonna pass here the image, which is the selected file, and we're going to copy that and copy the property. We're gonna pass it in here, and that value, that course ID is equal to the course ID. Okay, like this. And we need to pass also the selected file to the image property. Now if we head into the upload image model, we have the line here. I'm gonna copy that, and then we are going to do the following. We're gonna pass here, we're gonna pass here select image. I'm gonna copy the course store. We're gonna pass it in here. We're gonna pass it on change events, and we are going to code a function here, and then I'm gonna copy everything in here, guys. Copy everything, and we're going to put it into the use upload course image composable. We're going to pass it right here, and you can see and say the type here and pass it any. Okay, and I'm going to assert, I'm going to assert the output here is an HTML image element, and pass image element, okay, like this. And for the image, we're going to pass here the upload image input that value that image, okay, that value that image. And then we're going to pass it the selected file, and then okay, like this. And we're going to pass now the selected image function. We're going to pass it in here, pass it right here, and we're going to remove that here, okay. Now everything is okay. And now let me just remove this to property here, because we're going to pass here the file, which is the upload image input that value that image. And here we're going to pass here this, we're going to pass here the course ID, that course ID, like this, okay. And here I'm pass here success. We're going to show the message. If you upload the image, you're going to pass here res that message, okay, like this. Yeah, everything is okay right now. And I'm pass here course upload image loading, okay. We're going to name it like this. Default value, you're going to pass here false. And now we're going to copy it. We're going to pass it in here. When we're going to start making an HTTP request to receive, we're going to change the value to true. Once we finish, we're going to modify to false here. And if we got an error, we're going to pass here false. Now let's head into the upload image mode again, and we're going to pass it in here, okay. And right here, okay, upload image model, everything is okay. And here we're going to pass here upload image. And I'm going to remove the rest here, okay. Yeah, okay, like this. Okay, everything is correct. And now, and also I'm going to initialize the output image and the input image. And we assert the output image is an HTML element, and the image input is an HTML input element, okay. That's why I pass here that value, okay. We initialize these two inputs when we just upload the image. And now let's get rid of this typing error. And here I'm going to assert it as an error, okay. And the error interface is the method property, okay. You can see the error disappear. And then let's check again here. Now let's try this. And now we are going to click on the upload image button. Now let's try this again. I'm going to click here, upload. Okay, you can see if we click in here, we have we're going to choose a file right here. Now let me move to the courses first. We're going to move to the courses, because you can see we need to pass data. We need to pass the page data. We don't load data. Okay. Yeah, you can see actually pass here data. We have here data. Now let's click here, upload, and I'm going to choose a file. Okay, let's select this thumbnail, and I'm going to click here, upload. Okay, yeah, you can see actually got an error. Now let's check this. Yeah, okay, we are going to head into the console. Here you can see unexpected field. Okay, and inside the payload we send the image in the course ID. And now let me check to the server where we should send here, upload image tiers. Yeah, you can see in here. Yeah, you can see in here you pass the file. Let me just pass here the file into the use upload image. I'm gonna pass a file and see what we're gonna get. Okay, and now we're gonna refresh the page here, and also I'm going to catch the error in here. You can see upload image tiers. We're gonna catch here the error. You can see we don't catch the error. We're gonna pass here try catch. Okay, and then we're gonna pass here that. Then pass here catch, and then we're gonna pass here the error like this, and we're going to pass here through create error function, and we're gonna pass here the message. We can pass here save error. Okay, and also we're gonna pass it the data. For the data, I'm passing the error that message like this, and we're gonna pass the status code. And for the status code, we're gonna pass it 500. Okay. And here you can see we got an error. And now I'm going to assert it is error, okay? Is error in the first, and then we're gonna remove the error, okay? Now let's try this again. We're gonna click here again. We are going to upload that image, okay? Now I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna choose a file. And I'm gonna pick this one, okay? And let's click here, upload, and see what we're gonna send to the server. Okay, yeah, you can see image uploaded. Okay, it works pretty well. We just upload the image. Now, what I'm going to do, you can see on the page here, we pass here an image. Okay, now we're gonna pass here a dynamic one. Okay, and what I'm going to do, we're going to head into the Slack view file in here, and let's check in here. We're gonna pass here the single quote data and pass it in here. Okay, and see what we're gonna get there. Okay, and in here we should have here a property which is the let me get into the Prisma schema. Okay, and in here we have the image URL. That's what we're gonna pass there, and I'm gonna copy that. We're going to pass here course that's image URL, and that's what we're gonna pass to the image tag. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass it in here, and this is we're gonna pass it right here, guys, and I'll pass here the source. Okay, and guys, if the image is now, we're gonna pass here the fallback URL, and here we have the fallback image URL. You can see we're gonna copy the URL. We are going to pass it into the .env file. We have it in here. And now I'm going to copy that. We're going to pass it to the Nuxt.config.ts. And you can see we have here the runtime config. And I'm passing here property public. Because we need to get access to the environment variable. And then I'm passing process.env. Okay, you can see for the Nuxt Clerk secret key, I don't pass into the public because I want it to be a private key. A private key can be accessed only on the server, but not on the client. Okay, and this one, for the public key, we can get access to it on the clients and on the server. Okay, now we're gonna copy that, and we're going to head into the file here, and I'm gonna pass it in here. We're gonna pass here. Let me pass here config. Yeah, I can pass here like fallback, okay, fallback image, okay, like this. And now we're gonna create a constant in here. Let's do this const fallback image like this. Let me see, yeah, like this. And in order to get access to the value, we are going to pass a const config is equal to use runtime config, okay, like this. Yeah, this is the value, and we're gonna pass a config that's public, and we are going to pass a fallback image URL, okay, like this. Use runtime config. Yeah, now let me check if we pass if value is composable, if you don't have a tuple. And in order to check, we have here off or update royalties. We have here use runtime config, okay, and yeah, we're gonna pass it here. This is the correct name, okay. And now we pass it in here fallback image URL. In case we have here, now we are going to display the fallback image URL, okay. And now we're gonna try this again. Okay, I'm gonna head into in here. You can see actually pass here the upload image, okay. Yeah, everything is working fine. Now we're gonna work on chapters, okay. And then later on, we are going to display here the username who has created the course. We're going to do that later on, okay? You can see, actually, we haven't yet displayed the name here, but we're going to do it later on. And here, let's work on chapters. Now, we are going to head into the server folder and type here server. And you can see we have here some endpoints, and we have here created tiers, okay? Now in here, I'm going to create here another endpoints, but first of all, we are going to head into in here, guys. You can see in here, we have this H tag here. I'm going to get rid of that and pass it this button, and this is how it looks like, okay? Okay, this is how it looks like. And once we click here, we're going to pop up the model. Now we are going to go back into the server folder, and we're going to create here an endpoint. We're going to name it, yeah, we're going to pass here add chapter. Okay, yeah, we can pass here create chapter tiers. Okay, create chapters tiers, and we're going to copy content in the creator tiers for creating the course. I'm going to copy that, and it should be better to create here another folder. Okay, and here you can see we have the admin. I'm passing another folder. I'm naming chapters, and inside of it we're gonna pass in create. Okay, the tiers, create the tiers. Okay, and in here I'm going to head into inside the courses folder. We're gonna get it off the folder. You can see we have here create chapters. I'm gonna delete that, and we are going to head into the creator tiers. We're going to copy everything in here, and let's head into the chapters, and we're going to pass that into the creator tiers. Okay, and in here we're going to first create another folder here. We're going to name it module. We're going to put in validation related to chapters. And now I'm not heading to the, let's head into the courses again, courses folder, and I'm going to copy content in here like this. I'm gonna copy this one here, this validation, and we are going to head into again the chapters, and then I'm pass here validate chapter inputs the tiers. Okay, and in here we're gonna put in this code, and you can see in here I'm gonna head into the Prisma schema. You can see to create a chapter we need to pass here the title, course ID, and Slack. We need to pass here free field. Okay, the video URL is optional, and here we're going to move in here chapter, and we're gonna pass here create chapter input. Yeah, I'm passing create validate. I'm pass here create validate. I can just pass here create chapter input. Okay, like this. Yeah, like this. And in here we're gonna pass here the title of the chapter, and we're gonna pass here the course ID. We're gonna say the course ID is required if not provided. Course ID is required, and we're gonna pass here the Slack. Yeah, we are not going to request for the Slack because we're gonna use the title to generate it. Okay, and we're gonna request only the title and the course ID. Okay, and I'm gonna remove that and that to here. Okay, we just finished in here. Now we are going to import the create chapter into the creator tiers in here, and what I'm going to do in here, we're gonna get rid of that line here, and I'm gonna pass it in here. Okay, now let's import the create chapter input. Okay, we import it and we pass it the title, and I'm passing the course ID like this. Okay, and here we have the title, and we're gonna pass here the course ID. Okay, and yeah, we just finished in here course ID. Let me copy that and then pass it here course ID. And if you got an error, we are going to we're gonna throw it, we're gonna return it, else we're gonna generate the Slack by the title, and we're gonna pass the title, and here I'm passing the course ID, and here we're gonna copy that, we're gonna pass it in here. Okay, like this, course ID. Okay, and here course ID, and I'm passing chapter. Okay, like this. Okay, and yeah, we just finished. And if everything goes well, we're gonna return a message to the user: chapter created successfully. And pass here chapter created successfully with the status code 201, and we're gonna pass here chapter. Okay, and then I'll copy that, we're gonna return it. And here, in case we got an error, we're gonna return here failed to create a chapter. Okay, this is the message I'm passing, failed to create a chapter. We just finished working on these endpoints. Now we are going to head into the component folder, and inside of the component folder, we're gonna pass a chapter. This is a new folder. We're gonna put in the chapter model and the chapter table. Yeah, you can see in here we have, if we head into the Slack here, we are going to copy the components. We're gonna name it like chapter data. Okay, chapters. Okay, we are going to pass it in here. And now I'm gonna start with the chapter model. Let's create here chapter model and pass a chapter model. Okay, the view. And instead of the chapter model, we're gonna copy content in here, and we're gonna put it in here. Okay, and in here we're gonna have here one input, and you can see we're gonna have only the title. Okay, we're gonna stay with the title. I'm gonna get rid of other inputs. I'm gonna remove this one here, and yeah, and here I'm gonna remove all of these inputs in here. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a composable for that. And you can see in here we have here, if we head into composable, we have here category. Okay, and we are going to create into the courses. Okay, I'm passing use create chapter, use create or update chapter. Okay, this is another composable. Copy the name, and we're gonna pass here the TS. Okay, like this, and we are going to pass the export function, pass here the name of the composable, and then instead of it, we're gonna copy this code here. We're gonna copy the line here. Update course. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna copy this function here, and we're gonna pass it there. Okay, copy that. We're gonna pass it in here, and here we're gonna copy two other thing. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have here this property cons edit chapter. I'm name it right. We're gonna have here another property edit, pass it edit chapter. We're gonna pass it default value is gonna be false here, like this. Okay, and now we're going to modify that one here and pass it edit, and then I'm click replace and click replace all to modify everywhere we got edits. Okay, we're gonna change it with edit chapter. Okay, like this. Okay, we just finished. Now we're gonna create another property. We're gonna name it chapter loading. You can see inside the use create update course, the TS, we have the save loading property. Now we're gonna pass here chapter loading, because if you pass here the same name, we may get an error and pass it false. Okay, false, like this. And then I'm gonna copy the chapter loading. We're gonna click, double click where we got the save loading. I'm gonna tap here Ctrl F, and then here we're gonna pass it name, and then we're gonna click replace all, like this. And then we modify everywhere. And now we're gonna create the input. We're gonna name it chapter input, and then I'm pass here this const chapter inputs and ref. We're gonna pass it to property, the title, and we're gonna pass it the course ID, like this. The course ID is a string. Okay, is a UUID, and now we're gonna copy that, and I'm going to pass that here immediately. Okay, I'm gonna remove that, and then I'm passing that value like this, and remove that here. And here we're gonna pass it for the endpoints. We're going to head into, let's see the folder in here. For the folder, you can see we have here saver. Okay, yeah, we're going to head into admin chapters. You can see we're gonna pass here chapters and create, update, or create, like this. And here I'm gonna copy the name chapters. We're gonna pass it in here, and like this, everything is okay in here. And now we're gonna create the model, and also I'm gonna comment this line here. Let's create right now the model const chapter model. Okay, like this, and then we're gonna pass it false. Now let's copy a function in here. We're gonna copy the function to toggle the model. I'm gonna copy this one, and we're gonna pass it into in here. Okay, and here we're gonna say toggle chapter model, toggle chapter model. Okay, and in here I'm gonna pass edit. Yeah, right now for the edit, we're gonna leave it like this, and to pop up the model, we're gonna simply modify the value of the chapter model property like this. Now we're gonna copy that and pass it to the return statement. Let's create it right here like this. Okay, we have it in here, And now let's copy also the create update. We're gonna pass it in here too. And yeah, we have here for the model. I don't want to close it. Yeah, I can just do this. Okay. And now, yeah, I'm going to initialize the title here. Once we create a chapter, we're gonna do things like this. Chapter.value, that title, pass it that title. Default, we're gonna pass it the title, we're gonna pass it equal to empty, like this. Yeah, we just finished in here, guys. Now it's time to try this. Okay, we just finished in here. Okay, use create update chapter. Okay, now we're gonna copy that composer and then we're gonna get into the core store. Okay, we are going to pass it in here. Okay, const a chapter props, like this, is equal to this store. Pass here this store right here, like this. And now we're gonna import it in here. Let's import it. And we're gonna pass here this property. We're gonna pass it and we're gonna pass a chapter props to copy this property in here. We're gonna pass to that object. Okay, we just finished. And now let's go back into we are going to go back into chapter model. Okay, and in here we have the core store. I'm gonna get rid of the category store, and here we're gonna extract only a property related to a chapter composable, and we're gonna pass a chapter input. Okay, like this. And we have here another a property, chapter input, chapter loading. Let me copy that. We're gonna pass it in here, chapter loading. Okay, and now we are going to continue. For the validation, we're gonna simply pass here the rules. Because we have here one input, and I can simply pass here so the course ID. Okay, the rules like this, and we're gonna run the validation to the inputs here. Okay, for the course ID, and here we're gonna call create update. Yeah, you can see in here if pass here create update, we're gonna have an error. You can see into the use create update course composer, we have this function. Yeah, we have here function create update. We pass the same function into the use create update chapter. Okay, we can have an error. Now to avoid that, we're gonna pass here create update chapter. Yeah, that's better name and pass it in here, and we're gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it in here too, and let's go back and we're gonna call it right here. Okay, and here I'm pass here chapter. Okay, we can pass here chapter like this, and for the for the input we're gonna pass a chapter input. You can see we pass in here the course input and pass here the chapter input title. And yeah, let's continue. Everything is okay in here. And course, yeah, for the model we are going to let's check here the name of the model. Yeah, title chapter model. I'm copy that, and that's what I'm passing here. Okay, and I'm passing in here. Okay, yeah, and also we have here the submit. And for the loading property, we're gonna copy here the chapter loading. I'm copy that. Let me check if we pass in here and pass it in here first. Okay, and we're gonna pass it right here to chapter loading. Okay, and we are going to pass it in here too. Now for the edit here, yeah, we already tried it. Now for the edit, we're gonna copy that too. And let's check in here. We're gonna pass it in here. And now we are going to pass here edit. Okay, and if the value is equal to false, we're gonna show a create else update. Okay, like this. We just finished. Now we are going to copy the chapter model. We are going to head into the Slack. Now let's head into the Slack.view file. Okay, in here we're gonna pass here the model. Let's move at the top. We have a client only, and I'm gonna pass into in here, and we're gonna pass here pass the chapter model like this. Okay, and as we pass the chapter model, we need to pop up the model. Okay, let me remove that here, chapter model like this. And now in here you can see we have here the course, so we are going to pass that here. You can see we have here the button, add chapter, and on click event we are going to pop up the model. On click, pass a coastal, and here we're gonna copy that function toggle chapter model. We're gonna copy that, we are going to pass it in here. Yeah, we're gonna pass it right here. Okay, that like this, that toggle chapter model. Okay, and also we have to make sure we pass here the chapter inputs. And now let's try this. We're gonna refresh the page here and see what we're gonna get. And meanwhile, guys, while we are refreshing the page, I'm going to pass here the course ID. You can see if we click here, add chapter, we're gonna tag with the model, okay? And in here we can pass here the title, but we haven't yet passed the course ID. Now, if I head into the chapter model and we pass here at the top this, I'm passing the chapter input, okay? And in here, if we head into in here, you're gonna see we have here the course ID, and we haven't yet passed here the ID, guys. Okay, now we're gonna pass the ID when we click on add chapter. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Now let's head into the select the view, and in here we are going to copy the line here. Okay, we are going to pass it to the function in here. Let's scroll down, toggle chapter model, and pass it in here. Okay, and we're going to head into the use create update chapter. We're gonna move here, we're gonna pass here the course ID. We're gonna set the type is gonna be string, okay? And here we're gonna pass here the chapter input that value that course ID is equal to the course ID, like this. And again, if you pop up the model, we are going to pass here the ID, okay? You're gonna see if I click here, yeah, we don't pass here right now the ID. Click here again. We don't pass the ID, but if I refresh the page, we're gonna pass the ID. Okay, you're gonna see. Okay, if I click here again, you can see actually pass the ID, and I'm click here create. Yeah, value is required, and now I'm gonna pass you introduction. Okay, and then I'm gonna click here create. Let's see what we're gonna get. Chapter created successfully. Okay, just create a chapter. Now we're gonna display here create a chapter in here. Okay, now I'm going to do this. First of all, we're gonna head into the chapter model. We're gonna remove that input in here, and here we have that section here. I'm gonna remove all of this li tag. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna copy this UL tag. We're gonna create a component for that. We're gonna name it chapter components. Okay, we can name it chapters, course chapter. Okay, this is gonna be the name of the components. Now let's head into the component folder. You can see we have here chapter, and pass here chapter component, chapter course chapter. This is gonna be course chapters. Okay, the view, and in here you're gonna pass here the template tag here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass you, we're gonna define a prop. I'm going to head into the course chapter, the chapter model. I'm gonna copy everything in here, and then I'm gonna pass, let me head into the category table. I'm gonna copy everything in here, and I'm gonna pass into the course chapters. Okay, and in here we're gonna pass it a prop here. We're gonna say chapters. We're gonna pass define prop chapters, and then we are going to iterate through the array. I'm not coming this line, and now we're gonna pass here chapters. Okay, we're gonna pass here a v4 and pass here v4 directive, and then we're gonna pass a chapter in chapters, and we're gonna pass here the key. We're gonna pass here chapter.id, like this. You know, this is gonna be an array, and you're gonna pass here the chapter title. Okay, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm pass here the index, and we're gonna pass here the index. Okay, we're gonna display here the index, and we're gonna pass here the title of the chapter. Okay, then we're gonna pass here chapter that title, like this. And now we're gonna remove the span tag here. You can see we have here a span tag. Yeah, let me go back again and see what we should pass here. You can see here we have a button, add video. When we're gonna click on the button, we're going to pop up another model that we're gonna use in order to upload the video. Okay, for that chapter. And now we should pass here the index, and here we're gonna pass here the title, okay, chapter, and then pass the title like this. And now what I'm going to do, we're going to get into the save folder because we need to create an endpoint to return a list of created chapters. And here I'm gonna pass it chapter, validate chapter input in here, and we're gonna pass here get. Okay, you can see get here. Let me copy everything in here. You can see in here we implement pagination for the endpoint that allows to return a list of created chapter. We are not going to handle pagination, but what I'm going to do, I'm gonna simply copy everything in here. Okay, because we aren't gonna handle pagination for chapters. Okay, and here I'm pass here get, okay, tiers, okay, like this, and then we're gonna pass in the content, and in here you can see pass the category, you're gonna pass it chapters, okay, and I'm pass it chapter, the fun many, and here we're gonna pass it chapters and fail to get chapters in case we got an error from the save. Okay, and we just finished. And also I should pass here the data because we want to see the error data, that's message. Okay, and here, okay, we have here an error, and let me assert that to the error interface, okay, to remove the typing error. Okay, now we just finished, and now what we are going to do, we are going to head into the composable folder, and we're gonna create here another composable, use fetch chapters. I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna pass here the name here, the use fetch chapters, okay, chapters. I'm gonna pass use fetch chapters, and then we're gonna copy the name, we're gonna pass it here, the TS, okay, and in here we're gonna export the function, and here we're gonna pass here return statement, okay, where we're gonna pass in properties. And now I'm going to head into the use fetch courses, we're gonna copy in a function. Okay, yeah, let me choose here function to copy. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this one here. Okay, and we're gonna pass it in here, use fetch chapters. Okay, pass it in here, and we're going to create here property for chapters, chapter, and pass it chapters, and we're gonna pass it and pass chapter data. Okay, you can pass here even chapters, and we're gonna pass a ref default value, we're gonna pass it an array, and here we're gonna create here a loading reactive property. When we're gonna start making an XP request to the server, we're gonna modify the value, and we're gonna pass a const fetch chapter loading like this. We're gonna pass a false. Okay, and I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna double click on fetch loading, and then Control F. We are going to pass here the new name, and then click replace all like this. And then we're going to get into chapters that gets, okay, and we're gonna remove the query here. Let's remove that here, and I'm gonna remove all of that, and we're gonna pass it chapters that value is equal to data that value. Okay, like this. And if we put our cursor over the data property, you're gonna see we're gonna have here an array of chapters. Okay, this an array, and I can even copy that object, and here, okay, let me pass here the chapters. Okay, I'm gonna explain a little bit. You can see if I pass the chapters, we are going to get an array which contains this property, ID, title, course ID, Slack, video URL, and we can even copy that. Let me copy all of that here. Okay, let me check here. Yeah, if we put our case here, we can even copy that. Okay, I'm gonna copy that here like this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to create here even type. Okay, we can just type that, and I'm saying this is gonna be an array. Okay, and here we're gonna pass in these properties. Okay, and this array can be undefined. We can get here data or not. Okay, let me first do this. We're gonna go back in here. Okay, and you can see we pass an array, and here let me create here type so that it's gonna be clean. Pass type chapter and pass here chapter type, and this is how you type a reactive property using TypeScript. I don't do that because I want to make the course accessible to everyone, because there are somebody who doesn't know TypeScript. That's why I don't use TypeScript, guys. But I think in the next video we're gonna do that. And here pass here chapter, and we define is gonna be an array. And here I'm passing curly brace to remove that error. Okay, yeah, curly braces. Okay, like this. And here, this is an array, and this array can be undefined. We can get here undefined and pass here undefined like this. And now I'm gonna copy the chapter type. We're gonna pass it in here. Okay, and you can see actually we don't have any error, any issue. And if I put our cursor over this, the TypeScript is gonna infer it to be a type of the chapter type. You can see it works pretty well. Okay. And now we are going to, if we head into the, yeah, you can see we have here the course chapters, and we can even type the chapters, okay, by doing this. You can see if we put our cursor here, there's a way to type here a property. If I copy this, and now we can pass here lang, okay, is equal to ts like this. And then you can see actually got here some errors, okay. And here I'm going to comment this line and then pass here chapters. And you can see we have here property into the use create update chapter. Yeah, we are going to have it in here. We have it in here. And I'm going to export it. I'm gonna export it chapter type. And we're gonna copy that. And we are going to head into the course chapters update. And that's what we're gonna pass in here. Okay. If we pass that in here, we need to import it. Okay, and define props. Okay, now we don't have here, and here you can see if we put our case over the chapters here, you can see they infers it to be a type of chapter type. You can see, and here let me just pass here property which does not exist. You can see actually if pass a property which does not exist into the chapters array, we're gonna get here typing error. Now let's go on. Okay. We are going to go back in here. We are going to go back into the use fetch chapters. And in here, we already passed the chapters array. We passed data. Now we're going to pass here fetch chapters. Okay. Fetch chapters. Okay. Yeah, I'm passing here fetch pass fetch chapters. And we're going to copy the function. We're going to pass it in here. But also we're going to pass here the chapters array like this. Now we are done. Now we are going to head into the Slack.view file. We are going to call that. We are going to get access to the property. Okay. And now let's first of all copy that, and we're gonna head into the course store here, and I'm going to pass that in here. Pass it course chapter props. Okay. And we're gonna pass it that property. We are going to do that. I'm not import it in here. And let's copy that. We're gonna pass it and pass here this. Yeah, chapters prop and pass it fetch chapters prop. Okay, fetch and here chapters props. Chapters props. We're gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it in here. And now if we head into the, let's head into now the Slack.view file. Slack.view. And in here we're gonna call that function in here. You can see I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna pass a course store like this, and here I'm passing a fetch chapters. You can see we have it in here, and we're gonna extract here property. We're gonna name it chapters is array, and now you can see we have here a component which is the chapter, the course chapters. We're gonna pass it right here. Yeah, let me see here. And pass here chapters, and at the bottom here we're gonna pass here an array of chapters. Okay, now let's head into the browser, and you can see actually guys we already display here the chapter. Okay, this is the introduction, we display it in here, and now we're gonna go back into the use create update chapters. We are going to head into the use create update chapters. Okay, in here, we're gonna get into in here. Okay, use create update chapters. You can see Once we finish creating a chapter, we need to call the function fetch chapters, okay? And here I'm passing you composable use fetch chapters, okay? Use fetch chapters. We're gonna call that, and we're gonna pass it. We're gonna pass here function fetch chapters, okay? Now we're gonna call it once we just finish creating a chapter, a chapter, okay? And we're gonna pass here await fetch chapters, okay? Yeah, like this. And now let's try to create another chapter. You can see we pass here the introduction. I'm gonna refer the page in here, okay? And now let's check in here. Let's create here another chapter. I'll click here, and we're gonna say here how to manage state in view app. We're gonna pass here opinion, okay? Learn opinion, okay? This is gonna be the second chapter. Okay, I'm gonna click here create, okay? And you can see chapter created successfully, but we don't display here the second chapter. You can see we don't display it there. And here, let me move here. We're going to move to courses, and then we're gonna move there again. Let me click here. Okay, you can see learn opinion, okay? But you can see when we create a chapter, we don't call that function immediately. Now let's check here what we're gonna do here. And you can see create update chapters, okay? And here, okay, we pass that here, okay? And yeah, we don't update that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, in order to call that, we are going to do the following thing. You can see we are going to head into the the view file, and we're going to check here something. You can see pass here chapters, and here, okay. And I think if we head into in here, chapter model, and once we click here, I'm going to try to call it, okay? Course chapters, okay? And in here, what I'm going to do, we can just pass here the course store, okay? And now I'm going to go back into the use create update chapters. Let's move back in here, and I'm gonna remove the line here and the line 2. We're gonna comment this. Now let's head into the create update chapter, chapter model, okay? In here. And in here, I'm pass here that then, okay, create update chapters, that then here, I'm pass that then, okay, and I'm pass here a callback, and here we are going to do course store that fetch chapters, okay, like this, yeah, because we got here the course store fetch chapters, and here I'm pass here is sync, okay. And we're gonna pass here even await, okay, like this. And once we finish creating a chapter, we are going to call that function immediately, okay? Yeah, now let's try this again, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna move here again, and then we are going to move to the page again. I'm gonna click edit, and now we are going to create a third chapter and learn opinion. Yeah, for the third chapter, I'm gonna pass here how to persist state. To persist state in opinion store, okay? Now let's click here create and see what we're gonna get here, okay? Yeah, you can see chapter created successfully, and we update the components how to persist state in opinion store, okay? Now we're gonna work on the button here. We are going to upload a video for the chapter. Okay, we have here button. Now we are going to move here. I'm tap here max, okay, and then tap inner, tap max, and you're gonna scroll down. You're gonna see this section max video streaming API data and players. Okay, you're gonna click here, and then they're gonna redirect you here. Now the first thing you're gonna do is to create an account. Okay, I've already created an account. I'm going to log in. Okay, I'm gonna log in into mask. Okay. Max, okay, in here, and once in here into the Max dashboard, you're gonna scroll down, and the purpose in here, first of all, is to get these two keys. If I get into my Daddy MV5, you're gonna see I have here two keys, okay? We're gonna get in and get the Max token ID and the Max token secret, okay? And how to get that? Now we are going to head into in here. You can see we have here settings. Click here and click here access tokens. Click there. Okay. And once in here, guys, you're gonna click here generate token. Okay. And you're gonna choose here development, max video, select that, max data, and click generate token. Okay. And once you click generate token, you're gonna see your access token, but also you're gonna see your secret key. And copy that into your .env file. And once you close that window, you ain't gonna see that again unless you create another token. Okay. And once you finish, you're gonna come back in here. Okay, you pass that in here. And now what I'm going to do, we are going to do the second thing is to go, you're gonna tap here max node. Okay, and we're gonna install here a package in order to upload a video, and this package is provided by Max. Okay, now Max node API library, and add video streaming to your node application. That's what they said in here. Move here, guys, and what you're gonna do here is to copy that. Okay, you're gonna copy the line and install it. Okay, and now in here there's everything we need. This is this. In order to use the Max node package, we need to create an instance of the Max here, and we're gonna pass here the token ID and secret key. And then we are going to pass the line in order to upload the video. Okay. Now we are going to head into the course folder. You can see, yeah, I'm gonna head into the chapter folder, courses, and we have here module chapters. Okay. And pass the upload video. Okay. TS. And you can see we're gonna pass here the key. And to get the key, we are going to do this. We're gonna pass here this conf. Yeah, I'm pass here we're gonna pass a constant config is equal to use runtime config. Okay, like this. And we are going to copy that and we're gonna pass it in here. And in order to get access to this key, to the Max token ID, we're gonna pass here config and pass a config like this, that mask token ID, and pass it here, and here I'm copy config again. We're gonna pass it in here. Okay. And now we're going to head into the Nuxt.config.ts. We're going to pass in these two keys. And I'm going to copy that. We are going to scroll down and head into the Nuxt.config.ts. And you can see we haven't yet passed these keys in here. And you can see, guys, I passed these keys out of the public object. Okay. I don't want to make these keys public. And if we make these keys public, we can get access to them on client and on the server. And like this, we're gonna pass here the Max token secrets, and we're gonna pass here process.env file. Okay, yeah, okay, everything is okay. Max token ID, Max token secrets. Now let's check again, and Max token ID, Max token secrets. Everything is okay right now. And let's go back into the upload video TS endpoint. And in here, once we just uploaded a video to mask, we are going to have here, we return here the upload video URL, and we can use the URL to download the video. And also we have the upload ID. Okay, this is a UUID, a unique identifier for direct uploads, and we're gonna use that ID in order to get access to all details of a single video. You can see this is how it's gonna look like. And you can see we have here an object, okay? And we're gonna use that ID in order to get all details of a given video. You can see we have a video quality, the upload ID, and so on, guys, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to store the upload ID into a database. I'm going to comment these lines in here, and we're gonna pass it we are going to pass here chapter, okay? Yeah, we're gonna pass here video chapter. I'm gonna pass here chapter video, and we're gonna pass await Prisma, and here I'm pass here chapter.updates, and we're gonna pass here the word clause. We're gonna pass the ID. We are going to send here the ID of the chapter, okay? And also let me pass here the yeah, I'm gonna pass you the chapter ID. We're gonna send that, and here we're gonna pass you the data, and the data we're gonna pass you the video URL. We're gonna store only the upload ID. Okay, I'm gonna copy that, and I'm going to pass it in here. And now let's copy all of this, and we are going to pass that into try catch to catch the error. In case we got an error, we're gonna throw it, and here we're gonna pass here throw. Okay, create error. We're gonna pass here create error, and we're gonna pass it an object. We're gonna pass it the message. Okay, and here I'm pass here we're gonna pass here error that message like this, and also we're gonna pass here the data, and I'm pass here the error. Okay, like this. Everything is okay in here. Okay, everything is okay. But you can see in here we got a typing error. Now to get rid of the typing error, we can just pass here. I'm going to offset the error as the error interface. Okay, and yeah, everything is okay. Now let's extract the chapter ID, and in here we're gonna pass here course, okay, ID, and we're gonna pass here read body. Okay, we're gonna pass in the event, and let's pass here the event like this. And yeah, I'm passing await because the read body returns a promise. Okay, yeah, everything is cool. Now what I'm going to do, we are going to head into the browser, and in here, yeah, actually we got an error. And now what I'm going to do next here is to create a model. And yeah, we forgot to pass here to return here a message. Pass here return, and we're gonna pass here message. We're gonna say here something like chapter video uploaded successfully. Okay, and now let's head into the component folder. You can see we have here chapter. Now we're gonna pass in our model to upload the video. Now let's copy everything in the chapter model.ts, and we're gonna put it into the upload video and pass it upload video model. Okay, the TS upload video model the view. Okay, like this. And now we're gonna put in everything that we have in the chapter model. And now what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm gonna comment this, and I'm gonna comment all of that here. Okay, and in here what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into the core, yeah, the upload image model. I should copy everything in here because we're gonna have similar things. We're gonna have something similar into the upload video model. I'm gonna copy everything into the upload image model, and we're gonna pass it into the upload video model. Okay, yeah, like this. And here you can see upload course, yeah, thumbnail. We're gonna pass the upload video and pass here upload video. And then you can see we have here function. Now we're gonna remove everything in here. Right now we're gonna remove everything, and you can see pass the cursor, select. Well, you can see where we pass select image. We're gonna pass here select video. Okay, select video, and here we have here show image model. We're gonna pass here show video model. Okay, show video model. Okay, and select video. Okay, like this. And now I'm gonna remove that. Yeah, and here we're gonna pass here video input. Okay, video input, and we have here button to close the model, toggle image model. We're gonna name it toggle video model. Okay, and we have here the button upload image. We're gonna pass here upload video. Okay, upload image loading. We're gonna pass here upload video loading. Okay, now we're going to get into the composable folder. And inside of it, we are going to create here another composable, and we have here upload core. Yeah, let's see, use upload course image. Okay, now I'm gonna cut everything in here. We're gonna create here another composable, use upload video. Okay, use upload chapter video. Okay, yeah, we can pass here because we're gonna upload a video for a chapter. Use upload chapter video. Okay, it's gonna be a video for a chapter. Okay, .ts. Okay, like this. And now I'm gonna copy everything in here. and we're gonna copy the name of the composable. We're gonna pass it at the top here. Okay, now for the upload image input, we're gonna modify it to upload video input. Now we're gonna click here, replace all, and pass here the name is upload. We're gonna pass upload video input. Yeah, upload video input, and we are going to click here, replace all. Okay, and we pass here video, upload video input, and when we have here the course ID, we're gonna pass here the chapter ID, okay, like this. We're gonna click again, replace all, and we have here the show image model. We're gonna click here, and we're gonna pass here show video model, like this. We're gonna click here, replace all, uploads image loading. We have it here, and pass here upload video input, upload video loading. Okay, that's the right name. And we have here the toggle image model. We're gonna pass it the toggle video model. Okay, yeah, like this. And yeah, let me check here something into the toggle video model. We have here the upload video inputs and the show video model. Okay, to pop up the model, we're gonna pass here the chapter ID. And where we got here select image, we're gonna pass here select video. Okay, select video, like this, and we're gonna click again, replace all. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna get rid of this line here. I don't need them, and we're gonna pass a selected video, like this, and here you're gonna pass here select the video. Okay, and upload video input that value that video. Okay, the video in here, I'm passing video, which is the selected file. Okay, yeah, like this. Yeah, selected video. Okay, yeah, the error disappeared, and you can see we pass here the file, which is the selected video, and the chapter ID. Now we are going to use here another class to upload the video, to send the file to the server. Previously we used the fetch API, and we pass the data fetch, and then we pass here the form data, which has been passed to the payload object. You can see we have a payload, and we pass in the form data. Now I'm going to get rid of these lines of code here. We're going to use the XML request class. Okay, we are going to use that class here, and I'm going to use the XML request class because we have the ability to track the progress of the ongoing request. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down here, and we are going to move here. Yeah, you can see in here on this section, monitoring progress. XML HTTP requests provide the ability to listen to various events that can occur while the request is being processed. Okay, and we have here some events here provided by this class, and in one of them I'm gonna use here the progress. Okay, and in here you can see we have here update progress, and this is the function, and we are going to pass the event that length computable, and then we are going to get the progress in % of the ongoing request. Okay, now let's head into in here. I'm gonna remove that line here, and then I'll pass this line, and we station a class, and we pass here that event, which is the progress. We do event that length computable, and we get the %. Now I'm gonna create here another property, which is the progress bar. Okay, I'm gonna assign 0, and then we pass it in here. Okay, and here we take the %, we pass it to the progress bar property. Okay, and then in here we handle the success. If the request complete, we are going to pass here success function, and then here pass here video upload successfully. Okay, this is the message that we're gonna display, and in case we got an error, we're gonna call another function show. Yeah, we're gonna pass it show server error. Okay, and let me check this one. Okay, if we put our cursor, yeah, we're gonna pass the message and show server error. Okay, we're gonna pass here upload failed. Okay, upload video failed, and pass here video failed. Okay, and we pass here the form data. Now let's copy you this the form data. We're gonna pass it in here, and also we're gonna create we are going to take the upload video loading. We're gonna pass it at the top. When we're gonna start processing that request, we're going to set the value to true. Okay, and pass it in here. Okay, true. Okay, let me pass it here even at the top here. Okay, like this. And in case we got an error, we're going to modify the value to false. Now I'm going to format that. And here we're going to pass here the endpoint. I'm pass API /admin / here we're going to pass it chapters / upload video. Like this. Let me check here the path. And we are going to head into in here admin chapters upload video. Okay, that's correct here. Okay, everything is correct in here. Okay, upload video. Now let's check here. I'm gonna remove that. We have here select video, show video model, and here we're gonna pass here upload video, and I'm passing tag video model, and we're gonna pass it the progress bar. I think everything is okay right now. Let's check here. Yeah, let's check everything is okay in here. Maybe we're gonna modify the name here. Okay, everything is okay in here, guys. Now we are going to head into the code store, and we are going to import in the composer upload video props. Okay, like this, and we're gonna pass the class use upload chapter. Yeah, use upload chapter video. Okay, which is the name of the composable that we pass, and we are going to copy that to pass this property to the return statement. Okay, like this, we are done in here. Okay, now we are going to head into, let me go back in here. I'm going to copy all these properties right here, and let's head into the component folder. We have chapter, and here we have upload video model, and I'm gonna pass all these properties to in here, so that we are going to get access to them. Okay, now we are going to pass here. I'm gonna copy the progress bar. We can copy it. I'm gonna pass it in here at the top of the label. We're gonna pass it in here. Okay, upload progress. Okay, like this. Okay, and I'm passing persons. Okay, like this, and we pass it the label. And then here you can see pass here course store that select video. Okay, we have the function select video. I'm gonna remove it in here. This is a function. We don't need to pass it. We don't need to extract a function. Okay, to get access to it, it's better to pass the name of the pinner source and then the function. And here we pass here show video model. We have here show video model, upload video. Okay, this is the name of the function. Now I'm gonna remove that here because not a property. This is a function, and s is a function. We can pass it the course so that upload video. Okay, we have here upload video loading. Let me check here. Yeah, we don't pass here the upload video loading. We missed it. Okay, now we are going to go back into the use upload chapter video. And you can see we have here upload video loading. I'm gonna copy that. We're gonna pass it in here. And let's go back into the model again. We're gonna get in. Yeah, let's go back into the upload video model in here. And we're going to extract also the upload video loading. Okay, we got it right here. Tag video model. Let me check that. This is the name of the function. This is a function. I'm gonna copy that. And here, what I'm going to do, you can see if we head into the use upload video chapter. Okay, in here we have the tag video model. We pass it the chapter ID. Now let's head into the slag here, and we have a button right here. You can see course chapters. Okay, now to pop up the model, we're gonna pass it that and we're gonna pass an event. Yeah, I'm passing upload. I'm passing an event upload video is equal to, we're gonna pass here course store like this that, and we're gonna pass here tag of video model. Okay, and now we're going to head into the course chapters component. We're gonna define in that event. Okay, and we're gonna pass here course chapters. Okay, in here let's define here an event course. Yeah, we have here this. We can just comment this, and then we're gonna pass here upload video. Okay, upload video. I'm gonna remove that, and I'm gonna remove here. You can see we are using here TypeScript, and to define an event here, we are going to use this way and pass here this. Okay, because we are using TypeScript in this file, we're gonna do the following thing. And in here is an event. We're gonna pass here e, and then we're gonna pass it the name of the event. Okay. And upload, we're gonna pass upload video. And here we are going to pass here parameter and say course ID. Tab here is a string. Yeah, the chapter, we're going to pass it the chapter ID. The tab is a string. And then we are going to say it returns anything. We're going to pass here void. And now we're going to call that event. And here and pass here on click events on the button here. You can see we have here a span tag. And once we click on it, pass on click events, we are going to emit the upload video function. Okay, upload video, and we pass the chapter ID. And here I'm gonna pass here comma, and then I'll pass the chapter.id like this, and then we are going to get access to the ID. Okay, and now we are going to go back into the Slack. In here we are going to import also the model, and yeah, let me head into in here again. This is the upload video model. I'm gonna copy the name here, and I'm going to head into the file here, the Slack.u file, and we're gonna pass here this model. Okay, pass it here. Okay, let me copy that, and then I'm passing it in here. Now we're gonna try this. We are going to head into the browser because everything is okay right now. Now let's try this. I'm going to click in here. Let's try to see how we have here categories. And here I'm gonna click here edit, and we're gonna move to the page here. Okay, we load the page, and now I'm gonna try to upload a chapter here. We are going to get into the console. I'm gonna move into the network tab. We are going to see what we're gonna send to the save. Okay, in case we got an error, we're gonna see what caused the error. I'm gonna click here upload. Yeah, you can see in here we have here the chapter ID, and we haven't yet selected the video, and that's why we got here empty for the video property. Now I'm gonna choose here video. I'm gonna click here, and we are going to move here. I'm gonna pick this one, and then here we are going to click here upload. Okay, yeah, we just upload the video. Yeah, upload video failed. Okay, now let's see what we got here. And in the payload, we send here file, which is binary, and the chapter ID. Yeah, we made a mistake here, guys. And yeah, let me get into the response right here. And yeah, you can see in here, the chapter ID is undefined. Okay, you can see we pass here where the chapter ID is undefined. That's why we got this error. And also we forgot something, guys. Yeah, we forgot something special in here. Now I'm gonna explain again. Sorry, guys. And here I'm gonna go back in here. We're gonna get into the upload video ATS, and you can see in here we send here, we pass here the chapter ID, and you can see we send here form data. You can see if I get into the payload, this is the form data, and in order to get access to this input, we need to use Malta. You can see in here in upload image ATS, we use Malta in order to get access to form data input. Okay, and in here I don't want to use Malta because we need to copy all of these codes. I don't want to do that, guys. And now what I'm going to do, we are going to go back into the upload video ATS, and in here I'm going to do this. You can see at the bottom here we forgot to return the upload URL and the upload ID of the video. Okay, and here this is gonna look like this. We're gonna have something like this, and we're gonna use the upload URL in order to upload the video to Max. Okay, to Max account, and here we're gonna have the upload ID, and this is the ID that we're gonna store inside of the video table, and we can use that ID in order to get access to all video property. Okay, you're gonna understand that. And this URL, we should return it. Okay, and here I'm gonna pass it in here, and now we're going to go back into the use upload chapter video composable, and in here what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use form data, because if we use form data we need to use Malta. Okay, I'm going to comment this, and then I'm gonna pass this line here, and we pass here the endpoints, and we are going to extract the upload URL, okay, that we're gonna get back from the server, and we're gonna send here the chapter ID. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go down here. I'm going to pass now the upload URL here, because we're gonna send that image to our Max account, and here I'm going to pass, I'm gonna send now here the video. Okay, Now I'm gonna copy this line here and pass here a upload video, import that value, that video, okay, pass it the video, and I'm gonna pass here XML HTTP request that set content type here. Yeah, set, let me check here function. Let me go here, and we have here set request headers, and we're gonna use that. Yeah, I'm pass here set request headers, and I'm passing the content type here, and we are going to pass here copy this because this is gonna be the file, and we're gonna pass here that type like this. Okay, this is, we're gonna get the type of video. Okay, and we're going to send that image to Max. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into in here, we're gonna pass in Max. We're going to head into a Max account here, and yeah, we're gonna get into a Max account in here, guys, and we are going to, you're gonna get into here. Once in here, guys, you're gonna scroll down, you're gonna see videos and assets. Click assets there and choose development, and then in here I did upload a video, and I'm not delete that. Okay, I'm not delete that. Okay, right now we don't have any video into our Max account. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, now I'm gonna set the type first, the content type first, and then we're gonna send the video. Okay, like this, pause. Okay, to send the video. Now I'm gonna pass here puts. Yeah, I'm change again here the HTTP verb. We're gonna pass here now this one, and yeah, you can see in here just pass here puts, it was post, because you can see when we are sending the image to Max, it doesn't work. We got an HTTP verb error. Now let's try it again and see what we're gonna get. Okay, yeah, video upload successfully. Yeah, it works, guys. And now in order to check here, let me head into in here, and we're gonna click here assets. Yeah,